What comes around goes around, my man. Say hey, hey, say hey, hey. Forth and back, and just like that, you're going down for heaven's gate. I'm gonna tell it to my right, we're going down.
Target acquired.
Eagle 1, first strike. You have permission to engage the target.
Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Welcome back, everyone. Here we are. It's a chill stream. We're going to chill. We're going to hang out. We're going to have some fun. I'm not saying nothing's off limits, but I mean, you know, we can talk about whatever. Starting a little bit early just to let people, you know, fill in, filter in, whatever, you know, just come on in, start hanging out. You know, we're just gonna have a good little chill stream, you know. Saturday. Everybody hopefully had a good Saturday. You know, I had a pretty good one. You know, getting ready for tomorrow. Go out and do the cool stuff, do the shooting, do all of the stuff that I do. Sunday siesta. I don't know what that's like. I don't really sleep late myself. I just don't. Probably ought to, but I don't. Anyway, we're gonna have a great show. It's gonna be cool. There's a lot of places out there you can be online, and I'm glad you're here. Want to encourage everyone, you know, to there are other shows out there that you should partake in, and you know, there's no shortage of channels to go to. We can talk about Glenn in just a minute. We'll talk about that. What's up, Anson Knowles? Good to see you. So there's a lot of channels out there that you can go hang out on, and I'm really happy that you chose to come hang out with me. Yeah, I'm not a drama stream, so you know, there's nothing. I don't try and keep you on the edge of your seat. We try and have some fun. We try and have some good discussions. I try to provide, you know, a good time, you know, something good to watch, maybe a little different, maybe not. I don't know. And I'm hoping to, I'm hoping to actually grow this thing. We'll see. We seem to have taken a step back. While we're waiting for people to come in, you know, there's, there's a lot of people that get into streaming that probably should be stocking the shelves at Walmart at night. And I say that because inside where it matters are kind of ugly people. You know, like they can fool you to your face. They can talk to you. They're nice. But inside, they're ugly people. They just are. Can't do anything about it. I missed you. I missed you doing the karaoke. I did miss that. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. What's up, Agrillapolis? There's a there's some people out there, man, that are just you know, their goal in life is to convince everyone around them that they're right, even when they know they're lying through their teeth. Even when they know that they're the ones being bad faith, bad actor, bad attitude, bad. Yeah, kind of like Counterpoint's. Counterpoint's perfect example. I heard through the grapevine. Well, I'd have thought, but you know, so look, we all know, right? Like something right about this time last year, something happened, right? Like I was doing, you know, I'd have 80 to 100 people a show. I would, you know, we were doing pretty good. Show was rolling along pretty good. I didn't change content, nothing like that. And then all of a sudden, or over a few course of a month, I guess it was, I started noticing, you know, attendance drop off. I had a lot of stuff going on. I've talked about this before. And part of that was just the way YouTube works. Shit happens, whatever. But there are bad actors out there that try and target, you know, for creators for whatever fucking dumbass reason. We just went through that with, you know, the bad people. I had another creator actually come into my stream, not once, not twice, but 3 times, and tell me who I could and could not have on my stream, and still be his friend, or go on his stream. That blew me away. That's the kind of 3rd grade bullshit that I thought we all left behind. That's some dumbassery. But I've been building back, you know. I'll let all the people who are whispering in shadows about whether I'm good, bad, or indifferent. I don't give a fuck. I just don't. I am who I am. You either listen to me because you like what I have to say, or you fucking don't. Kick rocks. Keep moving. You know? I appreciate every single person that comes to the show. I try and call you out. I try and give you props. I try and be a, you know, good host. It's my house. I welcome you into my house. I was having a conversation today with someone, and they're a little disheartened because they feel like they're being targeted. Douglas, we can talk. We can talk about real estate, my man. It's chill stream, man. We can talk about whatever. I just gotta get through this little intro, man. Yeah, I'm definitely not creating drama. I was talking to a guy today. He's down. He's in his he's got a reason to be. And it seems like there's a group of people out there that are literally going around and telling people that they shouldn't go to this guy's channel, that he's a bad person, that he's a liar and other things. And I'm listening to this guy, man. He's like totally disheartened. He's actually heard from multiple people that they've been told not to cut, not to be his friend, basically. And this is just a dude out there trying to put out content, just be cool, helps everybody. And I'm listening to this and I'm thinking, yeah, I know where you're at, man. I mean, I've kind of had the same thing. I just have a different attitude, so it didn't really bother me that much. But this is really fucking this other guy up, man. So when you were, look, I don't know how much of this gets around to the audiences. I don't know what happens in closed discords. I don't know what happens wherever the fuck. I don't care. I just don't. All I can do is give you guys the best product I can. And that the only product I got is content, right? That's the only thing I got to give you. And I'll give you the best stuff I can. I promise. I show up every day, show up for work, make shit happen. But not everyone's like me. So if you hear somebody say that you shouldn't go to some other creator because of some stupid ass reason, well, first thing is I'd ask why. I mean, like, why do you give a shit what I fucking watch? Right? Like, that's dumb. That's some shit. Yeah, I've heard that too. Anson, I've heard that there are content creators out there that are telling other content creators not to hang out with other content creators. It's the fuck that we go back to the third grade. God damn it. Now I'll talk about Glenn. Glenn is having a hard time, folks. Glenn's having a hard time because he feels like he was handed a life's work. RP Thor passed on and he gave to Glenn the dragon ship, his mission to help men. And Glenn's a little disheartened right now because he honestly thought that he would get the donations he needs to have his to fund his charity, right, to get it started. Douglas, unless you talked to Glenn in the last 4 hours, sir, I assure you, Glenn is a very troubled man right now. He's got a lot on his mind, and he's right. It seems like on its face, like people would give money to anything except to help men. So he's, why, if you're asking why Glenn hasn't been streaming, it's because Glenn's currently working as an editor a lot to make sure the bills are paid. There's a real chance that he's not going to be able to make it to DebateCon because he's pouring every dollar he gets, he's pouring into setting up his project to help men. I can't tell people to go donate. I can't tell people to. I have a hard enough time asking for donations as it is. Douglas, my man, I understand that, but Glenn needs a fair chunk of money to pay for things to get his foundation, his grants. He has to pay the grant writers. He has to pay these people. And there's deadlines. I literally just talked to him a few hours ago. Glenn is not okay. Glenn hasn't been online in several days. And the reason why is because he's editing. He's turned to making money rather than content, because he believes in this project. He believes in his in what he's doing, and so I think it's really important. And so to do that, he'll sacrifice he'll sacrifice his channel, he'll sacrifice the streaming to get the money to get this to get his nonprofit working. Yeah, look, Glenn's in an off place. I'm not going to critique his mental health or his his way forward. So, but if you're wondering why you haven't seen Glenn, that's why. I've got to talk to him some more. I think he's going to be doing really well. I think what's kind of also weighing on him is, Glenn's a really, really good, decent human being. Yeah, Arthur Diet, all of those things that Glenn has talked about doing, like sponsoring YouTube streams, donating secondarily to other charities, and the hotline for men to get help when they're in a bad place. Those are after the grants come through. We're putting carts and horses out of line. It's not. Well, first of all, none of this ever goes as smoothly as you think it is. I should have probably talked to him more about it. Unfortunately, we just he was doing his thing, and I just didn't really jump in. And the I probably should have helped him more trying to get set up. He didn't really ask. He seemed to have some guidance in place, and I don't interfere. But I mean, to me, it really does seem like he had, he's got to get this this funding stream down first. Arthur Dye, I agree. I agree somewhat with this. But here's the thing. I don't know who Josh is. So, Arthur Dye, I don't know what that has to do. Glenn has, reconstructed the Dragon ship, changed the policies, changed the things, and adapted it. So I'm not really sure how that's applicable. I mean, if it is, that's fine. I don't know that he's really looking to the Crucible for help. Okay, I know. All right, that's cool. What's up, Shadow Buddha? Good to see you. We're going to get off of the subject in a minute, but the point is that for the people who are asking what's going on with Glenn, Glenn's busy trying to make money. That's what he's doing, because he needs to get this nonprofit off the ground, and to do that, he's got to have the grant writers. He's got to have paid staff, and he doesn't have any money to pay them. So, and maybe he'll drop by. We'll see. Yeah, sure, Arthur Dye, but those fans know that Glenn is a Christian and that Glenn is looking at and taking this in a Christian direction. So I get that part. But anyway, so if you're wondering about Glenn, that's the deal with Glenn. That's what's going on. I wish him luck. And honestly, I actually really do know how it feels to be fighting ghosts that are talking shit behind your back and you don't even know it. So, yeah, that's the way it is. He didn't even get a strike. We think somebody reported that stream the other night, and that's why it got taken down, but he didn't get a strike or anything. No, I think he's just disheartened, man. So I'm in theory going to be on the board. One of the reasons why I haven't donated is I'm not really sure how that really works. I don't have a problem donating to the nonprofit myself, but I'm supposed to be on the board and if that's truly the case, then I don't want to start off in a bad position. Or under questionable circumstances. So I do believe one of the things Glenn really does need to do is he really needs to put together a kind of I don't know. I need to put some more thought into it. There are some things that I think Glenn needs to do, but I'm not ready to try and articulate them now. I think mostly it's getting the grants and the funding and everything put together, because without all of that, you're really just not you're really just kind of pissing in the wind. What's up, Kissy Cat? How are you? Welcome to the show. All right, so enough of that nonsense. Hopefully Glenn gets it sorted. I'll help him when and where I can. We'll get it taken care of. I believe he had to write a business plan just to get the 401c or whatever it is. So. But at any rate, hopefully Glenn gets it together and moves forward. Yeah, that'd be great, Mr. DM me later. I won't answer tonight, but I'll answer tomorrow. Yeah. I think this is some low ass shit, to be honest with you, when people are going around trying to poison people from watching other creators. That's just low hanging numbnut shit. But at the end of it, we've got a lot of stuff going on out there, guys. It's been an interesting week. Obviously, the subject that I've been involved in debating on most of the week has been, shockingly, that we have this. We've had this. The Charlie Kirk assassination, and the right and the left, and who's the most violent, and all that nonsense. And when it's honestly, it's just the damn crazy people, to be honest. And something, Agrillapolis. I'll say it really slow. Agrillapolis. I think a lot of motherfuckers out there need to grow the fuck up and show the fuck up. That's what I don't understand. Like, we've got people out there acting like they're like they fucking have a clue, and they're absolutely bad faith, bad actor, bad everything. But I do agree. There's a lot of people out there that need to grow up. We aren't in third grade anymore. Everybody can be cool. Yeah, you're right, Arthur Dyer. There's a lot of backbiting and immaturity, and it's really stupid too, you know. And what's more interesting is that I guess there's like this like deal where people don't confront people, but I will fucking do that. What's up, Emmett? What's up, my man? My man Emmett is in the house. What's up, Cecil? Yo, Emmett has his own walk-on song. What's up, Cam the King? How the hell are you? One of the interesting things, guys, this is very hilarious. Very hilarious to me. I'm probably the only one out there that finds this fucking funny just because I find a lot of shit funny. But the people that have never met me or met online, people who've never talked to me online, people who have never sat in one of my shows, they don't know shit about me, but what some other numbnut said, have something against me, right? And I'm like, motherfucker, what do you ain't never talked to me. That's the bitch move ever. Am I right? I feel like I'm right. I feel like I'm pretty fucking right. And then they talk to me and they're like, oh man, damn son, you're based. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I am. Fuck yeah, I am. Based as hell. I'll help anybody that needs help. I don't take no shit from anyone. You know? But we got a bunch of punk ass bitches out there just want to run around and run their money makers. That's what I got. That's what I get out of it. I don't know. I'm just saying. It's like Mean Girls. Yeah, they gotta hate everybody. And they hate their friends most of all. Right? Some low T action is what I'm talking about. Hey, if anybody wants to come up, man, I'm gonna drop that link in the mod chat as soon as I find out where I fucking put that shit. There it is. I think maybe. What did I do? It is something. There we go. So I'm going to drop. I'm dropping the link in the mod chat right now. You guys can start coming up if you want to. If you don't want to, that's cool too. If you just want to come up and bullshit, I honestly don't give a shit what subject you want to talk about is. But you know, it'll all be cool. It's all going to be cool to me. Mod chat has the fresh, tasty link. Hot link. Crybaby's clearly breastfed. I mean, I could be. I don't know. I'm just saying, look. Everybody that's come after me has been cut down with the light of truth. That's all I'm saying. Why? Because first of all, I don't go looking for shit. I don't start shit. If I repeat something I heard and I'm wrong, I'll own up to it. Fuck, I heard wrong. I'm sorry. You know? But I ain't gonna like, you know, not say something if I know something, you know, like I ain't that guy. You know, I have a cat on my shirt. Look, check it out. Check that shit. That's right. It is a cool shirt. The Pixies are rad, even if they are weirdos. It's cool. I'm not a cat lady. I like the Pixies though. Pixies are cool. Yeah, that's the other thing I don't really get. I really don't understand why people can't just fucking talk to each other. If you've got a problem with me, if I have a problem with somebody, I just go to them and say, "What's up? What are you doing? Is there something wrong? Should we, should we sit down, talk this out?" You know? Yeah, especially if you got something to say, bring it on. Now there are some people, like I don't like Ryan. I just don't like him. You know, Ryan, the mystery coder or whatever the fuck he calls himself. I just don't like that guy. Now, he's probably a perfectly fine human being. I just don't like the guy. He's really ass hurt about it. It's in the mod chat, Emmett. He's not a perfectly fine human being. That's probably true. I'm just saying. Got to get that Discord link tonight, boys. I'm not pinning that shit. I tell other people to go to other channels all the time. I don't understand what's so hard about that. It seems pretty fucking clear to me. But like I won't ever have Mel back up on here. Right? I got you, bro. Emmett. Oh wait, we gotta close that and then scroll. There we go. There's the Emmett. What's up, my man? How you doing? Can you hear me now?
Give me just 1 second. Sorry,
Gotcha.
it's not you. It's me. Give me 1 second.
It's always them, never me. That's the way it always is. Live action Emmett. That's what's up. Cam the King says I had Ryan pegged for being gay the first time I saw him. I mean, I don't know if he's gay. He's gay adjacent, probably. I don't know. He knows where their neighborhood is what I'm saying. He could find it without a map. What I'm saying.
Hello, Great. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. We just, it's a chill stream. We're going to chill. We're going to talk some shit. We'll make fun of some people, We'll make fun of me probably. That'd be good. So,
Why would we make fun of you?
I don't know. I can think of a couple of things. I got my cool blackjack gum. I've got my Pixies t-shirt. I got my cool hat. I'm bulletproof. I'm bulletproof right now. You come at me and you can't cut me. So.
Yeah, I just came by real quick. I want to thank you. I don't know if you heard me on the stream. I said that I will make something special for you.
Oh yeah. I didn't. I mean, I'm glad if you do, but certainly don't have to.
Nah, it's part of it's what I do. It's like like part of my marketing is you pay, you get pixel art, so you're gonna get pixel arts one way or another.
Yes, Smoking Spaceman. I did say, let me that in the camera. Blackjack gum.
Blackjack.
To go off Arthur Dias' question, do you also think the Fed cut will affect auto loans? Yes, I do. Will people then buy more imported vehicles with the tariff costs? No, because the tariffs are going to continue to. I mean, I don't care what they make the interest rate on auto loans. The 40% or 30% tariff on an automobile is not. That's just too much. That's too much. They will have to discount the holy fuck out of those. And see that they already know that. That's why they have look, all Japanese companies have manufacturing plants in the United States. Every single one of them. Mazda, Nissan, Toyota, Honda, Hyundai. Hyundai has 2 plants, I think.
Hyundai.
Yeah, Hyundai has 2 plants. Hyundai is Kia, so that checks. All the Japanese car companies have and Korean car companies have plants in the U.S. already. So no, I don't think that'll. I mean, I think they'll make more cars here.
That would be the easiest way to avoid the tariff, right? Just
Yeah,
make,
yeah, that's exactly how they're going to avoid the tariffs. So
and you don't have to get everything done here. You can have parts imported, and I think it will be.
Yeah, you can have, but the imported parts are going to be tariffed as well, but they're tariffed differently. So,
Yep. I mean, the whole point of tariffs at the end of the day is to try to increase the amount of manufacturing, and we know it's gonna take time. But if you don't do that, what's gonna happen is you're not gonna have any manufacturing.
So what I'm seeing with lending is like I was in the motorcycle shop the other day, and they'll get you like just under 2% interest on a motorcycle loan, which is like that's like never heard of. I don't know. I think one of the things the dealers are going to do is they're going to go back to the 0% financing for the first year because they're having it, and it's easy for them to do that because they're projecting these loans out. It used to be 60 months, right? But now there's 72 and even 84-month loans, which is insane. That's insanity. But people are doing them. So if you've got a 72-month loan, any percentage change is massive. Is just massive. And on a motorcycle, that I think you're going to see 0% for the first year, and then they'll just bang you with whatever the interest rate is after that. So, Cam the King, I feel you, bro. I feel you, 100%. I pay cash, and actually, I'm having that very discussion right now about whether or not I should buy the motorcycle in cash or
Finance it.
Or finance it. Because I could literally I can just put it on my credit card if I wanted to. I don't even have to fill out a credit app. I can just walk in and slip it, pay it off at the end of the month. But there's a good argument right now that the interest rate where it is, it might be if I could get 2% interest and pay it off in a year and a half, which I can easily do. I'll get the credit and I barely pay any interest. It's not quite free money, but it's low cost money. I think people misunderstand that. I mean, I think people misunderstand that in finance all the time. All economics is how expensive is the money to buy it, because that's what you're doing when you go to a bank. You think you're borrowing money, but no, you're buying the money. You're buying the money, and if it's really expensive, if it's going to be 10% or 15% or 20% more than face value, you're not going to like that. You're not going to want that. You're going to save, probably. But if you can get it cheap, and let me run this by you in a minute. So that there are situations where I can borrow money on an appreciating asset. So what by that I mean, let's back in 2010, 11, and 12, I would go down and buy a new Chevrolet dually pickup. And I'd buy it at 0% interest with the family GM friends and family plan and their tier 1 dealer plan and another kickback. I would get about $30,000 in rebates off of a $70,000 truck, bring it down to about 50 grand. So I'm financing 50 grand at 0% on a $70,000 truck. I would drive it for a year or 2 years, and then I would sell it for more than I owed on it. I effectively had a free truck.
Yep.
For 2 years. I paid insurance on it, obviously, but I didn't.
I don't know. I don't know exactly on taxes, but I also know that sometimes when you get the loan, instead of getting the payment directly, you pay less in taxes, and you can refinance it as part of your expenses when you have a business.
Yeah, there's some things you can do, and Anson can talk about I get confused with the tax law. That's why I have an accountant, because the tax law changes and moves and different things affect it. And so I could literally tell you something that is technically right, but if it was just a hair different in your case, it would be wrong. So I don't.
Yeah, makes sense.
I'm actually getting. I'm getting the point now where I've actually I've been talking to my accountant quite a bit, and he's like, you need to stop talking about taxes so much because you don't know shit. And I'm like, all right, that's fair. That's fair, right? I know enough to get in trouble. That's what I do.
Yeah,
so, right.
Makes sense.
But
let
me try and get this. Go ahead.
That's a very good deal, though. Like whenever you have something like that, 0%, and then you have it like 1 year, and it's pretty much completely free.
Right.
You sell it, and you get another one, and you can even get a little bit of money out of it. Yeah.
Well, I did the same thing with Dodge trucks. Dodge ran a promotion. All right, and you can do this right now. You can almost do this with Mercedes. It's not quite the same as with Mercedes right now, but you can. But it's really close if you're in that income bracket. But so the Dodge dealer would lease you a brand new 4-wheel drive V8 crew cab pickup for $99 a month for 24 months. $99 a month is nothing. That's literally going out to dinner, like on a date, like at a real restaurant, like that's like nothing. And so I would, and then they wouldn't let you do it the second year, but the first year I just went down and I paid the whole thing out front. I paid the $500 origination cost. I paid the taxes. I paid every payment. It was like $2,500 by the time you added in the fees and stuff. And I literally just paid for, and I drove that truck for 24 months, and I just gave it back to them. But I was only using it to run around town, so I never really put that many miles on it, and so I didn't have any mileage cost. Yeah, but then you have to be seen driving a Ram. That's a bad deal all the way around. What's up, Kevin? Good to see you, my man. Good to see you. But that was a cool thing, right? And Ford did the same thing, and that was a really good deal where you could buy a brand new, or you're not buying it, but you could drive a brand new car for less than a car payment, less than filling it up half the time. And I mean, it's like, why wouldn't you do that? Like, that's the perfect thing. And you're like, well, I end up with no car, but I'm like, yeah, but you don't have to do anything to it. You don't have to change the oil. You don't have to do any of the service. You take it back, you hand them the keys, you pick out another one down the road and do the same thing. And we were able to do that several years. And they ended the program, but it was great while it happened, while it worked. And I really enjoyed it. It was such a good program. And so I really, really like that. So basically it's a free vehicle. Right now you can go in, like, if you have Sam's Club, American Express, or there's a couple other things. you can go in, maybe it's Costco. You can go in and get fleet pricing on a Mercedes Benz, including a lease. So you can go in and lease a Mercedes Benz vehicle for like $800, $900 a month. A brand new $80,000, $90,000 car.
Yeah, I heard about that before. There was a person I knew that did that in California for a long time.
Yeah, and
That's exactly what they did.
It's so. I mean, you'll sit there. I mean, people sit there and say, "Well, I can make a car payment of $1,000 a month, and then I own it." But yeah, that's a problem. Is you own. Hey, what's up, Tim Hale? I need you to jump up, my man. Somebody get Tim Hale a link somehow. I need Tim Hale to jump up. But yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of things that people do that are kind of silly about money, right? And sometimes I knew. I mean, I've known people that have like bought very old vehicles, and then they'll fix them up as they own them and drive them, and then they sell them for more than what they paid for them, and they've owned them this whole time, right? And basically, there's a lot of ways to do things. I mean, obviously, the number one thing is you have to have some money. You have to have a stable life to where you're not like going freaking out all the time. As a matter of fact, this weekend, Friday, took my kid to school to do the Parents' Day before for homecoming, do the parent-teacher conferences and all that kind of stuff. And on the way back, the F-Pace threw one of the idler pulleys, so the serpentine belt came off, and we had to have it towed home. And it's going to cost me like $300 in parts to fix it. But I own that car free and clear. Like there's no, like, it doesn't matter. I could literally park it, and I've owned it 2 years, maybe 3. And it's like, it doesn't owe me anything at this point. I've gotten my money out of it. I could park it and just let it sit. I actually have an 06 Cayenne that's sitting on my property out in Las Casas right now. It's just sitting there because I don't actually need it, and it needs some service and stuff, and I just haven't gotten to it. So
get a new one then. You know,
I told my wife.
It's what you were saying. Like you, instead of doing all the service, you just went back into the dealership. You put it back, handed the keys, and get another one.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that there's a lot of I just think there's a lot of people out there who keep themselves poor because they don't really understand when to cut the they don't understand when to just stop the bleed. Yep. And when to just step up and buy something a little better. I have a buddy of mine going through that right now. He's been going through it for like 3 years. As a matter of fact, he's almost a year now. That poor bastard has been driving my Ford Expedition that my boat hauler truck. He's been driving it for over a year while he's been saving money to buy some car, something else. And I know that his woman is probably keeping him fairly broke, and he's just not able to get the money together to do whatever it is he wants to do. But I told him, like, dude, go get a lease, right? Like you don't need to own a car. Like you just don't. Go get a lease. You don't drive enough. You're never going to go over the mileage, so just forget about it. Just go do that.
Yep. And
he keeps buying cheap piece of crap cars that he knows better, and I keep making fun of him about it. He keeps doing it. But and what was stupid is I talked him out finally. I talked him out of finally getting rid of his last piece of shit, and I talked him into buying an F-Pace, and he actually bought one that looks just like mine, except it had black wheels. It was
Okay.
the exact same vehicle. And he sold it, and I'm like, why did you sell it? He's like, oh, the mileage was getting up there. I was getting scared. I'm like, just it runs perfect. What are you talking about? And then, sure enough, like right after that, everything that he had just started breaking down, and it's just terrible. So
It is terrible.
but at any rate, it was I just think that people keep themselves poor a lot of times by just repeating the same thing over and over and over again. And yes, Arthur Diet, while $300 it seems like a lot of money in today's society, $300 is barely covers dinner at McDonald's a couple of times. So I'm being a little facetious. What's up, Anson? What are you doing?
I'm just hanging out. I've been on stream way too much today. I hung out on this one channel earlier for a really, really long time. I'm talking about like libertarianism and just like all sorts of stuff. And then we
Were
just
you ever on Fabian?
no, it was Emmett.
Oh, Emmett was talking about libertarianism.
Yeah, he was. So
Are you trying to corrupt poor Emmett?
No,
Emmett's
no.
too he's too nice to be.
We have different opinions when it comes to libertarianism. I actually have different opinions when it comes to the debate that everybody complains with Fabian Liberty. So we fight about that.
Yeah, Emmett likes being wrong like usual. Grid. It's just fun to play with him. He's not.
I don't know that Emmett's wrong. I mean, I think libertarians are just Republicans that just want to get high.
Yeah, and that sounds like a good like propaganda level talking point.
No, I think that's the only talking point. I think that's what it is.
I don't know, Emmett. I did karaoke on Emmett's stream. So if you want to hear what it sounds,
I do not want to hear you do karaoke.
I am horribly tone deaf. So if you want,
I'm just telling you right now that I just don't.
Awful.
I don't want to do that to myself. So
yeah, it's probably the worst singing you'll ever hear in your entire life.
Mm-hmm. Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't need to verify that.
Yeah. No, it's like looking at a train wreck, Grid. You got to try it out. Just take a peek.
I don't know if you saw, but also Kat sang, and she sang "Booty."
Yeah.
Here's the Weevil. What's up? How are you?
Mr.
Good.
Panga
How are
Weevil.
you guys doing? Topanga. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Are you?
I don't want to be rude to anybody on here. I've been streaming for a while. I'm gonna go eat something because I've been doing it, and I need to finish a video for today as well. So I just want to come here. Thank you, telling you that I'll contact you about what you want, and I'll be.
I have
seeing
no
you.
idea, my man.
We can do. I can do a car that is like running, and we can make it like an animation for your stream. That if you play it, it will go from one side of the screen to the other, and it will be like a. I will show
just
dirt
surprise me, man. I trust you.
Okay, I'll ask you for what car, and because I don't know
what car
actually of cars, so you can tell me a little bit about what car. If you have a picture, it's even better, and then we'll do that.
I'm a huge Porsche 911 fan.
All right, we'll do a Porsche 911 then. That makes sense. Also, thank you very much.
Kissy Cat saying "Booty Man."
Yeah, Booty Man.
I don't know. I've never heard that song.
Take out booty.
Tim Hale, are you getting a link? Are you coming up? What's up with that? I want to talk to Tim.
I'll be seeing you. Thank you so much.
See you, man.
Nice
Hey, really good work on the shorts this week. We got to keep that up, man. You're the more you do. I was raving about it today. I was talking to Glenn, and I'm like, man, I know that Glenn was trying to help me with shorts, but he just has no time, and it's like he was doing okay. He does good work, but he just didn't have any time. And I'm like, man, Emmett has got it down. He's, and the more he does, the better they are, and it's just cool. So
today's short. Did you watch today's short?
Which one?
The one that was published today. That is an intro for tomorrow's video.
Is it the big meanie one?
Yeah, the one with the stamp.
Yeah, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. I think you could have added a little bit of music in there, a little dramatic effect. But other than that, man, that was great. That was great.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll think about it. I've been thinking about it.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. I'll be seeing you.
No worries, man. It was
Have a good
awesome, though. I'm a big meanie head.
Big
Tim Hale's on the road, my man. I'm sorry. Hey, Tim Hale, I need you. I hope you're listening. I need you to come on my stream sometime. And I want to bring some people on, and I want you to explain to them that if they're still using information about Jan 6 from 2020 and 2021, they're out of date and they need to get their shit together because of all the stuff that we found out about the federal agents that are now being investigated and prosecuted, the informant, or not informant, but the agent that was implanted in the Proud Boys who actually broke the door down. I need all of that. I gotta have you on, man. We gotta tear these people up. They can no longer labor in delusion. I can't allow it. You must face the truth. The truth will cleanse you.
The truth will set you free.
Tim's like, I'm hard already. Damn, son. Didn't mean that, but okay. All right. I mean, whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna burn them to the ground, Tim Hale. We're gonna burn them to the ground because they were up here the other night saying, I can't find any references to that. And I'm like, well, I got one for you, baby. I got the reference. Hey, Chris Lestrange, good to see you, man. Good to see you. I saw you sneak in under the doorman. What's up? Clover Tack is in the house too, man. It's all timer tonight, boy. But yeah,
See you later. Have a good one.
That's right. There was source. I'm like, I got a source. All right. Hey, Emmett, take care, man. Have a good night.
Take good care. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Yeah, it was great last night. So Tim, I was trying to get a hold of you to get you on the show while they were here, so I could just burn them down right then. But we'll make it happen, man.
I wanted to ask you about the leasing of cars because I've never done it. I don't have a lot of knowledge on it. So I just want to ask you, like, what does it do to your credit?
Makes credit great.
Does it?
As long as you make your payments on time.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, leasing, especially if you have a business, and you can lease, like if you really want to get like a low lease payment, like with and it varies from manufacturer to manufacturer, but like right now I've been looking at Mercedes for a while. I like Mercedes and I think they're great cars, and why wouldn't you? So you with a modest amount of money up front, and probably none. But if you have reasonable credit, you can walk in with get like it's probably a C or an E series, just something cool. And you walk out with it with like $800 to $1,200 a month payment on it, and that's cheaper than what most people are paying on their cars right now. And that's a brand new car.
That's a lot for.
Is it?
Yeah, honestly.
What do you think most people are paying on it? Well, I have done.
We don't lease, but we finance our cars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right now, and we have. Well, my car that I've had since 2020.
You're back in the good times.
Yeah. It's almost done, but we pay $386, I believe. And then another vehicle, when I had my third kid, we had to get something bigger, so we got a Chevy Traverse.
Right. I mean, I guess it's a different. All right, so I guess
I personally drive a lot. Like, so if I leased a car, like especially when I was working,
and you can preload miles.
So when I go back to work, I drive a lot. I drive roughly 40 to 50 miles a day, roughly.
Okay. So what I do, what I like about leases is if you catch them right, you will buy a very expensive vehicle like an 80, 90, $100,000 vehicle for not a lot of money.
Yeah.
And assuming you have the credit,
Mm-hmm.
you don't do any of the service, you don't do anything, and you can do, I mean, I know people that are doing 46-month, 48-month leases, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
But where it is that, you have to preload the mile. If you're going to go over miles, if you know that you're going to go over, you have to preload the miles, or you have to plan on just buying the car out when it's done.
Yeah.
And
that's tough
I personally, I can control how many miles I put on a vehicle pretty easily.
Yeah.
And so it wouldn't bother me any. And I'm using Mercedes as an example because I know what they're worth. Other vehicles are going to be, are going to be less. But the thing is, you get you're talking about a brand new vehicle that has a warranty, that you are not responsible for any of the care maintenance of the vehicle. You just, when it needs an oil change, you take it to the dealer. They give you a loaner. That's
nice. It kind of makes up for the other price. Like it makes up for the other.
The thing is, it doesn't nickel and dime you to death, right? Like you're not just doing small things.
If you finance them, then it's like warranty up to, what is it, like 80,000 miles, and most cars are well out of warranty when you purchase them.
Well, by the time here's the thing. All right, so if you do it, if you're a typical, here's the problem with most buying a car. If you buy a car today, let's say it's a mid-market car, $40,000, $50,000 car, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what a car costs now. Like, I didn't realize that. I always thought I have in my head for some reason that most cars cost around $20,000 brand new.
No, not today.
And actually, and you know what got me out of this is I noticed that there were a lot more Nissan Zs in my area.
Yeah.
And I couldn't understand it because they were 150
Supras in my area.
There were so many new ones, because I was like, what happened? Something had to have happened, because they are $115,000 last time I checked. And then I looked, and this year they start at 48 and go to 60. And I'm like, that's why, right? Because now people that will never spend $115,000 on a car can now go and buy, they can justify 48 or 50, right? And so so when you go down, if you go down and buy a car, and let's just say you buy a mid-market car, it's $48,000, and by the time you roll it out the door, it's $55,000, $56,000 financed. And you need a $500 or $600 a month payment. So, which I don't think you can get on that. I think it would end up being more, but whatever the payment is, you need a low payment. So they stretch that out to 72 months.
Yeah.
The first year you're going to lose.
It's going all to interest.
No, but you lose so much value in the vehicle in most cases.
Any vehicle, you drive it off a lot, you're losing.
Unless it's like a Chevy Suburban or any kind of pickup truck. Hey, thanks for becoming a member, my man. Somebody donated memberships.
ZT Den donated 5.
ZT Den, 5 memberships. That's awesome, man. Thank you so much, ZT Den.
She's really cool.
And so it's just crazy the way that people think about these cars, because so let's just say that, and this is what actually happens to people. So they go out and they buy a $50,000 or $45,000, whatever it is. They end up with a $50,000 banknote. 2 years in, they need to sell the car for some reason. Their job changed. They got laid off for 3 or 4 weeks, and now they're behind on all their bills. They just can't make this payment that they've been able to make.
Yeah. They
can't sell it.
No.
For enough to pay off the banknote. And they can't get rid of they can't refinance it in most cases, because it's not worth it. And they can't do anything with that vehicle at all, except, in a lot of cases they'll just turn it back in and take the
but that's a big hit on your credit if you do that.
It's a big hit, right? Yeah, absolutely. So if they'll just forfeit the loan. Mm-hmm. So then that's bad, right? So, and that's actually one of the reasons why for a long time I drove kind of pieces of shit except for the company trucks.
Yeah.
The company trucks are new. What I drove was always like some old thing that was paid for.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
You
and
pay out of pocket for it.
right. And so if you're not driving that much, or you can control how much you drive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then it makes sense to have a lease, because at 24, 36, 48, whatever months you pick, you get X number of miles, and you can, with some companies like Mercedes, for example, and I think GM and Ford, you can preload miles in. You can buy them in bulk. And so it's a cheaper cost. And then when you get out of it, if you haven't used them, they refund you that money. So you can actually get paid when you drop off the vehicle.
So if you're leasing a vehicle and you're putting down the miles and you like have a certain date in your head, like this is how long we're going to drive it, this is how many miles.
And you say, you want to get out of it. And let's just say, typically, if it were me.
No. Well, like the lease, can you typically, like when you're leasing a vehicle, you can potentially pay it off and own it.
Yes.
Correct.
At the end of it. Yeah. Yeah. And so I don't
know anything about leasing. I honestly, I've never done any research.
Right.
I just know that like people say, oh, it's not worth it, but it's worth it. It's kind of a.
So there's a hack right now. And well, it's not a hack. It's a hack that's been around for a long time. And this is what'll happen. So if you buy a new Chevy truck today, a $70,000 vehicle, they're just fucking expensive.
Yeah.
But you go buy it and you can get for, maybe you get on a program, or you get, you have some sort of, you can make some sort of deal. Maybe you can get it for 65 or 60 or whatever. So you go buy it, you keep it for 3 years, 4 years. Let's say that you lease it. You do a 24-month lease.
Yeah.
You can go back oftentimes, especially if you're within miles, and instead of turning it in, you can sell it back to the dealer and make all of your lease payments back in one transaction.
That's really interesting.
There are people that I was just listening to a conversation with some guys that have been doing, they do it more than I do, but they made, I think, the dealer bought it back from them rather than turn it back into the lease. Dealer paid off the lease and then paid them, I want to say $7,000 or $8,000, which was more than they had paid in lease payments.
So what does insurance look like on that car? Is it the same?
It's the same full coverage. Yeah, same.
You're not like paying more.
Well, I mean, for me, it's the same. I say that I don't know what your insurance is, so I can't. I mean, I can say for me that my insurance didn't change.
Well, I have a good driving history. We go through Allstate, I believe, because it was the cheapest in our area, because it's outrageous here. Here in Florida, it's a no-fault state, so they're ripping your ass with insurance here.
Yeah. Arthur Dye, if you have a 2018 Honda Accord with 65,000 miles on it, you're not only going to get 4 or 5 more years out of it. The third, fourth, fifth, and sixth owner of that vehicle are each going to get 5 years out of that thing. That thing will never die.
Hondas are actually, they're really decent.
I mean, everything else will fall apart. It'll look like shit. The paint will fade. All of the plastics will be trash, but it'll still run. And it'll only be worth $1,000, but that's okay.
It's true.
I mean, it's just, like I said, I mean, I think people are sometimes I think they're very hard-headed when it comes to going and looking at purchasing vehicles. I guess
it never crossed my mind to lease a vehicle, because I don't know anything about it. So
yeah,
it's kind of good to hear about somebody that's personally done it. So
yeah.
Yeah, and that structure you described of the larger trucks appreciating in value instead of depreciating, I've actually seen that before, what you were talking about. And
it's not even that they appreciate. What happens is the dealer needs used cars, and they will buy a clean, low-mile car that they've maintained. They would rather buy it and pay it off than let it go back into the lease pool. and then have to buy it back out. Because when it goes back into the lease, there's like they have the residual value that's based off of the lease, and it gets very, I don't know, it's math that I don't bother doing, but there's a reason that they do that, and they'll do it, and they'll pretty much do it all the time. Now, I don't know if they'll do it for every vehicle. I know that they'll do it for trucks. I don't know. They may do it for Camaros. They may do it for, I don't honestly know any other GM models. I'm sorry. I don't really care, but yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I personally have always kind of been, I've had a lot of different vehicles. I've liked Fords because of certain models, but right now we own 2 Chevys and they have been very reliable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I had to do one maintenance on I have a Chevy Cruze and my O2 sensors went out and I struggled with it for a long time, not knowing that, like, cause I always had older cars. So the newer car that I got, I didn't realize that new Chevys, you have to get genuine GM products for the vehicle when you replace them. And I didn't know that. And when I went to like AutoZone, I got the O2 sensors of what brand they gave me and I put them in, same problem. Took it down to Chevy. They told me the problem. I went and I ordered them myself, put them in. It worked just fine. So
I have to comment on this. Agrillipus, yes, that even wives are pre-owned. They're not used. They're pre-owned. Wives, girlfriends are used, right? Wives are pre-owned.
Yeah, no, you never finish paying them off, Grid. What are you talking about? That's
yeah, girlfriends you never finish the payments on.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
That's
the ultimate lease deal right there.
Yeah, you just walk away. It's a good deal.
Yeah, that's funny. I think people are also about to really screw themselves in the housing market, and
do not buy a house in today's market. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, I'm about to buy a bunch of houses in today's market. That's me.
I don't know. The area I'm in, they're still ridiculous because people are still trying to get like the market is trying to go down.
No,
but people.
Yeah,
when they built the houses, the market was so high. They're trying to get all their money back. People are going to lose money on their houses.
Yeah, but the reality is that the market will only pay what the market will pay. I don't care how much they don't want that. If they've got to get out of it, they're going to get out of it.
Sell the houses.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people in my neighborhood right now that see the writing on the wall, that bought when they shouldn't have bought and bought something that they shouldn't have bought, and they're bailing. Like we never have houses for sale in my neighborhood. Like never. And now I think I counted 3 or 4 for sale. And the houses it's technically the next neighborhood. I consider it my neighborhood, but it's technically the next neighborhood over. Mm-hmm. They are they're less than a year old, 2 years old. Yeah. And they're already selling them. And again, because they bought at a high point in the market, they usually paid over asking, and now they're in negative equity. Yep. And so you're going to see, it's going to be a very interesting market, I think, coming up. And I'm literally, as always, I am the vulture on the fence, just waiting.
Like here in Florida, where I'm in, there's at least one house on every road you drive down. There's a house halfway built, and then it's just abandoned. Yeah, like weeds grown, everything. It's how it is right now. We personally want to buy a house, but we are waiting maybe another year or so just to see what happens, because here in Southwest Florida, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think that it's interesting right now because we've got this really, really strange situation where. So you had this time where people were getting paid a lot of money and they had a lot of extra cash, and that's why they were able to drive the market up. And the banks would just loan. Yep. And now you're in this period where banks won't loan and people just don't have that much extra cash because now, everything's caught up. Everything is, you know, I mean, fucking McDonald's it's $30 for two people to eat at McDonald's right now.
Yeah, it's
Crazy. And so when you start looking at that, well, now I don't care how good, you know, I mean, I don't care how good your credit is. I don't care how good a negotiator you are. If somebody is $300,000 upside down in their house in negative equity, they can't sell that house for a low price. They can't.
and that's
And the banks won't loan on it.
Amount to be upside down. That's outrageous.
Right. And the banks won't loan on it. So what the banks are going, but here's the problem is that people that are no longer making that huge money that they were making back when they bought these houses. You know, if you've watched, the salary levels are trending back down to where they were almost pre-COVID.
Well, because
that doesn't mean
it got to a point where nobody wanted to work, so they were upping everybody's wages to get everybody in. And now that they have everybody that they need, they're lowering wages and getting rid of people. Now it's getting harder to even find a job out there.
Well, also people are being made to go back to work. So the other thing that you have to understand is that if I make $60,000 a year, and I spend in going back and forth to work, eating lunch at work, going out with the guys for beers afterwards, and all that shit, if that's $15,000 a year of my salary doing that shit, that overnight evaporates because I'm working from home. I don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Now I've got $15,000 extra a year that I can spend on whatever the fuck I want. And so that's what, and I'm being a little bit, I'm being very fast and loose here, but that's what we saw. We saw people all of a sudden, people that didn't actually make that much money had a lot of extra money.
Yeah.
And they were able to, again, pay all of this money. And so we're seeing the correction, but again, a lot of people are barely hanging on, and you're going to start seeing the foreclosures. Now, the banks have been able to not do foreclosures. I think this is something the bank is because they don't want another 2005 to 2008 slow decline into the ultimate crash in 2008. They don't want that again.
A lot of people are hoping for. A lot of people are hoping.
Well, I'm hoping for it, but the banks are certainly trying to not have that happen. And what they're doing is that if you are behind in your mortgage, if you can't make your mortgage, or you come to the bank and want to refinance, they can't refinance it for you, and you're like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. We're gonna be out of this. So what they did in 2005 to 2008, what led up to the massive collapse, or a big part of it was they literally would foreclose on a house and let people stay there and then move out at whenever, and then or they just wouldn't foreclose. They would just literally send notices, but would never actually foreclose because they didn't want that foreclosure on the books. But the bank wasn't bringing any money in because obviously they weren't paying their payments. Yep. So to prevent that, what they're doing now is if you miss a few payments and they reach out to you and you say, yeah, I'm just really struggling right now, they're going to put your home on a internal list of homes that they market to wholesalers. And they'll go to a wholesaler and say, hey, we've got this house. They're in trouble. We think they may need to be bailed out on this. This is how much we're prepared to lose on this deal. And the wholesaler will buy it under market. And then, the family gets out of the loan, right? So in theory, their credit's preserved and the house gets resold to somebody else, and the bank doesn't start this market slide. And they've been able to do that for a long time. But the problem is the sheer number of houses that are going to start having this happen is going to be too much for the banks to hide. And it's going to be really, really bad when it happens. Yeah. If you look up the number of mortgages in negative equity right now, it was 30%. And if I had to guess off the top of my head, I bet we're somewhere between 38 and 40% right now of not homes, because they don't list. You can't tell a home is in negative equity until it lists for sale. But mortgages in negative equity, I think it's probably 30 to 38% right now.
I'm going to look it up.
Yeah. So the problem is that the Fed changed their interest rate.
Yep.
And they did it kind of a half deal, right? So they sold some of their investments at the Fed, and that had an impact on the long term economy. And then they lowered the interest rate, and that had the opposite impact on the short term economy. And basically, they're doing a piecemeal approach to make it
That's right.
to make the economy how do I put it? They're trying to have their cake and eat it too, and it's going to cause a big fucking mess. Is what it's gonna do.
Right. Well, everyone I've talked to at the banks that are willing to talk about this have said that they just don't want another 2008. Right. Like they understand that what happened in 2008, and they just don't want to see that happening again. But the foreclosures are starting to happen. The auctions are starting to happen. There's more and more all over the country where there weren't before. There's a ton of people right now, that are in the process of being foreclosed on and evicted from their homes. And a lot of these homes, honestly, you don't hear about people getting evicted because a lot of these homes were bought as VRBO Airbnbs and other income generating properties, and nobody's in them anyway. They're empty.
Well, so what they did essentially is for monetary policy, they tightened long term and they loosened short term.
Mm-hmm.
And the kind of signals that people are going to get are going to I guess be reversed. It's going to make people spend money, and then in the future they're going to regret it even more because the money's going to be less available. And so it's actually going to compound the problem in the long term.
It could. I hope that Trump and I hope his I hope he can get the Fed under control to get interest rates at least moving in the right direction. I actually don't care. So I'm not one of those that's like, I want to see 3% interest again. I mean, obviously I would. I would love to see under sub 3% interest rates, but that would be fucking awesome. But I don't need it. Right now, I can go to a private lender that we do business with all the time, and I can get 1 or 2 points under prime. So if prime is sitting at 5.5% today, I could get 3.5 to 4.5% from a private lender. I don't need to deal with an actual bank like most other people do. So to me, it doesn't really matter. I mean, obviously, I would love it, but it doesn't change it doesn't affect me enough right now. But it really affects the number of people who are able to buy houses, and I think we're going to see a really significant movement.
And I don't know if you've actually seen like the new construction homes. Like personally for me, I have seen well over a couple dozen myself this year. Like new construction in the middle of construction, and they are getting weaker and weaker structures. The houses, they are not standing up to what they were in 2008, when everything dropped to then. I feel like the housing construction, people are getting lazier.
Yeah, I don't know if I can go. I don't know. I mean, maybe in Florida. Here, the houses are going together. But the problem is that
even in Virginia, when I lived there in 2001 to 2000 or 2021 to 2023, even houses there, they were just their structures are not like people are not giving their all into these homes. They're not lasting. They're not lasting. If you bought a house that was built in the 90s, it's going to last a lot longer than a house built in the 2020s.
Well, so Grid, you've hit on some of the systemic problems related to the malinvestment, right? So there are a lot of people who have invested in properties that they didn't really need to have in the first place because money was freely available, right? But
it was so bad. It was so bad. I don't know if I don't know. And I say this all the time. I just don't I don't think people really grasp it. What happened is when every time we get a Democrat in office in modern, and by modern, I mean since 2000, every single fucking time, the first thing they do is they pull the reins off of the banks and just let those fuckers run wild. And what they do is they say, what always happens is the banks make money by loaning money. That's what they do. And so they don't care. They lower credit standards. They lower all kinds of things. But the biggest issue they have, and is they do two things that significantly affect real estate. One is they remove the requirement that you have to be a year in the house before you have to be live in a house a year before you can use it as an income property. Both times Trump has gotten office, he puts those brakes back on. That means that I can't just go buy a house using a conventional loan, a conventional mortgage, and then turn around and use it as an income generating property. The other thing Biden did, and Obama did before him, and so on and so forth, is they allow you to use projected income when the banks consider the loan. So if you go in and you show the bank loan officer your prospectus and date and this data, usually from Airbnb, which is made up bullshit. I've seen it. It's horrible. And they're like, well, we're going to buy this house, and yeah, the mortgage is, $1,800 a month, but we're going to be cash flowing, $20,000 a month out of this place. We're getting $200 a night during the week and $500 a night on the weekend, and we're gonna have 90% fill rate or whatever. And all that's all horseshit. But the banks should not be allowed to use projected rental income for a conventional loan, and yet that's what happens. And so a guy can get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 conventional mortgages on air.
Yeah, and you can make a lot of money doing that too. I used to do tax returns for people that did that, and they banked pretty good money, and it was all tax deductible income, right? You had cash flow coming in, but you didn't really have to pay taxes on it because of all the depreciation deductions on the front end for buying all that real estate and all the interest payments, because those are all deductible also.
Yeah.
Right. So it's basically tax-free money.
But then when the vacation rental income starts drying up, like it isn't like where my lake house is, I can always tell when the market is shifting because there's a lot of these houses all of a sudden are for sale. But I mean, it's anyway. So that's one of the things the Dems do. Some people can make it work. Like apparently, John Galt, he can make it work. I can make it work. I mean, I haven't paid a payment on my I haven't paid a payment on my lake house out of my own pocket. I only paid out of my pocket for like the first 8 months I owned it. After that, and that was because we were there all the time and we weren't renting it. Once we started renting it as an Airbnb and short-term rental, no problem. I mean, I haven't made a payment. Now, I haven't really made any money either. I mean, I might make a couple $100 a month off of it, but I'm not paying. But the mortgage is covered, so
Yeah, you're making it's money.
It's a free house.
At that point.
It's a free house.
Yeah,
it's free house.
That's what.
So I mean those are two things, and you're going to find all these Airbnbs and VRBOs that were bought, and they'll be empty. They're empty houses. Nobody even lives in them, and people are going to be getting. There's just it's going to be an issue. There's a lot of problems with the real estate market right now, and it's only going to get bigger. In my area, the biggest problem they have right now, to be honest, is construction loans coming out of 23 and into 24 were retracting, and they weren't given. Even if they had a $2 million line of credit, some of those lines of credit were being reduced, and so there's actually this entire modular home community, it's got to be 30 homes that's not finished. And it hasn't been finished since I haven't seen anyone working over there since 22. Like it's just, they're all just sitting there. And
that's an investment that's not returning to the original investors. That's going to be a problem.
Yeah, there's a serious problem there. There's a lot of, I think they finally started selling them off one at a time, but it looks like the bank froze their line of credit. They probably dissolved a partnership or two, and then it went to court, and it's been in court ever since, and it's probably just now coming out of court.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you're gonna see a lot of that. You're gonna see a lot of it.
Yeah, well, that's what happened in 08. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a much slower burn version of what happened between 05 and 08. 05 it started, 08 it hit. We started this shit in 23, and it still hasn't hit. It's still, we're on that slow burn, baby. Slow burn. But we'll see. Hopefully, Trump's guys can work with the banks to try and get some shit sorted out. But a lot of people are going to be screwed. If you want to buy a house now, I don't know.
I think I'm going to wait just a little bit just to see what the market,
Yeah.
where it goes. But I'm not going to be buying a newer home.
Prices are coming down.
Yeah.
That's all I can tell you. They're coming down, whether they want to or not. They're not elevatoring yet.
Well, they're not where I am, the housing market, because the Space Force thing coming here.
Yeah.
And
well, there's some areas like I'm trying to. We're looking right now. One of the business partners on my fund, they want to go to Indianapolis. I don't think Indianapolis is. I don't think there's anything. There's nothing going there. There's no reason to do that other than that there is a good population there, and there's a lot of cheap houses there, and so we could, that works for us. That builds that helps our business model. But San Antonio is better because San Antonio currently has reasonably priced houses, and they're going to get a lot of investment in factories and production, and there's just gonna be a lot of money flowing into San Antonio in that area, which means jobs, which means people, which means they need fucking houses, right? And they'll rent houses. So that's where I'm really, we're actually in a discussion right now in my fund about San Antonio versus Indianapolis. Can I explain more about my fund and how it's doing and how it works? Yeah, we're making money. I mean, we're the way our fund works is we have a limited number of investors. The minimum buy-in $75,000. I don't know that there's a peak buy-in, but I want to say it's probably like 200, something like that. And we do a fund. The funds run 2 years. They can be extended, but usually we do a 2-year fund, and then every year we start a new one, right? So so fund number 1 will mature April, I think, May, something like that, because it's been 2 years. And then we started another fund a few months ago, and so the first fund ended up being about, I want to say it was like 3.5, 4 million. I forget what it was. The new fund's going to be, I think we're aiming for 10. And what we do is we buy properties with that money, and then we use the rental income money from those properties to basically pay for all of the expenses and carry cost, if there are any. There usually aren't, but if there are, that's what pays those. And then when we'll start selling houses, we start selling houses when we can double our money. So if we have, for example, if I buy a $200,000 house and I put $20,000 down and I have another $15,000 in associated costs, so I'm at $35,000 invested. And a house is worth $200,000. When that house is worth $300,000, I'll sell it. Because now I've effectively, in that case, I would have tripled my money or almost tripled my money. But if it hits 260, I'll sell it, right? Because somebody will get a good deal on a house and it will sell really fast. I can go buy another one, and we take the profit, and we've effectively doubled our money.
Yeah,
So,
but asset price inflation, what you're talking about taking advantage of, which you can do because you have a lot of capital.
Right. Yeah, we're in a position to be able to do this, right? And then we just turn them into new house, or what we'll do is we will pay out what the investor would have made had we sold it, or they can stay in. They have the opportunity to pull their money out at what we would have sold it for, like today, right? If we want to stay in, they can do that. We haven't had anybody do that. Everybody's like, nah, just keep it in there.
Yeah, but you were talking before about the opposite of that, which is wage deflation, which has occurred based on what you've described, right? So in addition to asset prices having gone up and the interest rates being what they are and them not really being able to control inflation, wages have kind of stagnated, and that's really what's wrong with the economy right now, and why all these people can't afford all these houses, and why there's a bubble, right? But the problem isn't that the interest rates aren't low enough. The problem is that
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you about that. I think that you're right. I don't think it's the interest. I think the interest rates will make a difference. I don't think they are the thing that's holding everything up.
Yeah, the interest rates need to be jacked up to like 15% so that all of the bad investments can get cleared out. And then people will only have invested in things that they actually deserve to have instead of bought because money was so cheap, right? Mm-hmm. If you invest your money in a lot of things that aren't good investments because money is cheap, then it's like having a zombie economy, right? It's not really.
We do have a zombie economy. That's a great way to put it. So we have a zombie economy.
Yeah, it's not the appropriate way for a free market to function.
Hey, before we go any further, did that guy? Whatever his name was that was trying to get into the shed, did any of the mods, were you guys able to get him in?
I'm gonna get off of here though. I'm gonna try to get some sleep tonight, so I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna bail at like right at 11 tonight because I'm gonna get some sleep now. I gotta put the house. I gotta get up and go shoot stuff.
Mm-hmm. All right, you guys have a good night. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. See ya.
Weevil.
Bye.
Have a good night.
You too.
Agrillipus, were we able, not Tim Hale, it was another guy who said, Douglas, you got him a good link? Okay, cool. Let's get Douglas. Douglas, if you can hear the sound of my voice, come on up, buddy. Yeah, so I think that you're partial. I think that that's a good point that you're making. But the thing is that what we're doing with our fund is we absolutely have to, in our case, we have to buy the houses right. And we're buying houses that are being wholesaled out. We're buying houses that people are in trouble and they need to sell it like right now today. And so we're negotiating pretty strongly. Like we're making cash offers. We can usually close. I think in Ohio we can close in as little as 12 or 15 days, something ridiculous like that. So, we're able to, because of the way the fund is working, we're able to do things to like stack the deck in our favor, right? And usually, like honestly, to be blunt, usually when we buy a house, so I bought a house personally. This is not part of the fund, but I personally bought a house in Ohio for $215,000. it just had to be reappraised for an insurance deal, and it appraised at 325. So that means somebody could go get a loan for $100,000 more than I paid for it right now today. And I mean, you can't beat that, and that won't change with even if the economy goes down, because it's not a house that went to $80,000. It wasn't a house that, I mean, 800. It wasn't a $400,000 house that went to $800,000.
See, but that's not real, Grid, right? What you've described is the conditions of money being in existence in abundance, and therefore the asset's value has been
Sure.
has been increased, but it's actually the price of the money that's gone down, and not the actual value of the asset.
Maybe. I don't know that I would express it that way, because there are two things that are going on, right? So one thing is, like, in what I'm doing, the houses I'm buying, they would sell for much higher if the people who own those houses could go and buy and put $10,000 or $15,000 in them, and lipstick them up. Get some paint, put some paint on them, do some landscaping, put new appliances in, and maybe put some laminate floors in. If they did that, they put $15,000-$20,000 in, then the house would be worth what it's actually worth, right? I'm buying a distressed item.
Yeah.
What you're talking about is what I see happening left, right, and center, and that's where people and this is what also can't happen right now, and why another reason why the home prices are in the toilet. So when you go to like my neighbor, for example, now he was able to go through his house. It just sold. He was able to go through the house, make sure all the paint was perfect, make sure the floor was perfect, make sure everything was right, and they got a good price for the house. Now, right around the corner, there's a house, and those guys cannot. They can't go to the bank and get a $30,000 home equity loan to lipstick their house up for sale. And so right now, that house, when it originally sold 3 years ago, my son's 4. Yeah, so 3.5 years ago, whatever. When they originally sold that house, it was obviously new. It's perfect. Now it's not new. It's not perfect, and they're not getting the same appraisal. And I think that they've actually lowered the price now 3 times. They started out at basically what they had bought it for, and now they've lowered the price 3 times. And it's not because the house in and of itself is really technically worth anything less. They just can't make it look like an $800,000 house. It looks like a $400,000, $500,000 house, and that's what people are offering them right now. So I think both things can be true at the same time. And I'm seeing that throughout the real estate market right now, is that how, people are able to command these high prices, these, $250,000 homes selling for $350,000 or $400,000 because people went in and they put some money into it, and and that's one of the reasons why I wasn't buying flips for a while. I wasn't buying a bunch of houses, because every single time I turned around, the houses didn't need anything. It had already been done. And these people could not take anything less, because they had that home equity loan to pay for as well, right? So that's, and the cost of borrowing went up. Grillipus is right. It's interesting. There's a dichotomy in the market, but I'm not buying those houses. Yeah. I'm not buying houses that are move-in ready, right? Like I'm not buying those houses at all.
So you're doing it in terms of like arbitrage, like typical, like buy low, sell high, not.
Yeah. I'm finding homes, and I'm finding homeowners in distress and taking advantage of them.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm the vulture on the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Hey,
I mean, I mean, look, I know it sounds really bad, right? But the reality is that a lot of if I didn't buy, if the fund didn't buy a lot of these houses, they would be in foreclosure within a month and a half, 2 months, and then the people, they lose a house anyway. So in most cases, we try and get people out clean where they don't owe the bank anything once we close. But we can't always, obviously, because sometimes the houses are fucked up.
yeah.
And we have crew. We literally have a maintenance crew that pretty much just works for us. Like I know that they do other work for other people, but not doing that.
Well, Grid, in about 30 minutes or so, I'm gonna get off the stream. And I figure Clovertech's gonna start talking about guns nonstop at some point. So I just wanted to get in.
He may not. He may talk about real estate. You never know.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing my first stream on my new channel tonight. So if anybody wants to come and check it out, they're more than welcome to. After your show is over, of course, I'm not gonna stream while
Yeah, I got you. Appreciate that. I don't understand you, independent thinker. Yeah, when I YouTubed it, your videos was one of the top for it at that time. Oh, Clovertech?
Yeah.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, Clovertech's rad, man. He's a cool dude. I was like, what the fuck is he talking
I've watched some of his gun content. It's good stuff. He knows what he's talking about. It's impressive.
Yeah. He's a good dude. We need to have a gun episode.
And this is why I'm not going to talk real estate. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We can talk about how to build a house if you want to.
Yeah. I've just about got the real estate on autopilot.
Yeah.
I can get.
Yeah, a lot of the financial stuff is that way, once you set it in motion.
Well, I have
a little bit of maintenance and you're good.
The way the fund works is we have it set now to where we have like 10 realtors that send us anything that they think will interest us. I mean, we get so many houses to look at. They know what we want. They know what we'll buy. They know what we won't buy. They know that we're going to, like, if it's a deal, we're going to take it, we're going to pay, and they're going to make, they're making like no commission, like so little commission, but they make so many deals and it's so easy for them that they don't care. And so they've got that. We have that. We've got maintenance crews now. We've offshored our customer service to some, like, I think in Philippines or somewhere. And that guy's like, he's legit. And he charges us like pennies a fucking day for doing it. Like, it's crazy how cheap it is. So really, I don't have to deal with the buying. I don't have to deal with the financing. I don't have to deal with any of it. It's on autopilot. Mm-hmm. They buy the houses, they rent the houses, they do everything.
Yeah.
And that's it. The only time I have to get involved, like I'm currently getting involved because we have a tenant who apparently is super bipolar, and he lost his job and now he needs to move out. And we're trying to be good people about that. But at the same time, like, this dude's like off the rails. His wife is in the middle of leaving him and they're both on the lease. So so I actually have to deal with that. I can't let other people deal with that. I actually have to deal with that. Because if, that's one of those things that can just go sideways so quick. There's all kinds of issues there.
Up until I guess probably, I mean, maybe 20 years ago, maybe a little longer, maybe more like 30 years ago. My uncle and my grandfather, I should say, and his brother, my uncle, owned a lot of rental property. And that was such a and maybe it was just here, maybe it was just the type they were doing, I don't know. But it was such a fucking headache, man. Oh yeah. My God. Like, through high school, that was basically my job, was handyman on all the fucking rental properties. And Jesus, man, it was always like you would go in and people would literally run the water hose in the house and then just be like watering their plants with their water hose, like, and it overflow on the floor. And there would be a leak that you could tell that the leak had been there for months and they didn't report it or say shit, and just it was crazy, man. Kids drawing on the walls and knocking holes and tearing stuff up. It was unbelievable, unbelievable pain in the ass.
I mean, it can be. I haven't had any tenant. I've only had one tenant that I consider a bad tenant, and we got them out pretty clean.
Yeah.
And the so that was okay. But it can happen. I think the thing is, like, we always and we have a process, and we don't waver from the process. Like, if it. I don't care what kind of sob story you got. I don't have any kind of. I don't care. None of it. Can you make the payments? How long you been at your job? So on and so forth. Like, other than that, I don't care. Like, it's very clinical to me. So I've done pretty good, but I know other people, man, and they don't have. So I have standard. Like, I just won't. I don't take Section 8. I won't do it.
Right.
I just won't. But I have other people who are like, oh, Section 8's great. They pay every month, first of the month, every time. It's so great. And I'm like, yeah, but you get paid, but you've got people who are literally wrecking your house. It gives zero shits about your property.
Yeah.
And we'll literally steal the light fixtures and sell them on the corner for crack.
Right.
Or
strip out all the copper.
Yeah, like strip the fucking wires out, like sell the refrigerator, and I mean, like, why do you? I mean, that's a lot. Like, I don't like to do L's, man. Like, I don't like taking L's.
You just described the definition of a bad tenant right after Josie asked.
Josie asked me that. What's your definition of a bad tenant? I wasn't paying attention to chat, but now I see that. Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. But yeah, no, I mean, it's I don't. I've had, like, I've got a tenant right now. They're great. They've been in the house. They're almost in it. Well, actually, I guess they're in their third year, and they love the house. They wanted to be there. Because of the school zone, so their daughter could finish school or whatever, and I thought that was cool. And they pay late every single month. They always pay the late fee. It's just the way it is. It's just the way that their money works, and they've never not paid. They've never not paid the late fee. That's just the way it is. And I'm like, whatever, like, I mean. I personally wouldn't want to pay an extra $150 a month if I didn't have to, but hey, whatever floats you, But that's just the way their money works out, and and they apologize if they're going to be late, and then they'll get caught up, and then they'll stay caught up for 3 or 4 months, and then they'll be late again, and it'll be the same thing, but they always pay.
Yeah, that's people that don't have money in savings. That's literal paycheck to paycheck people. Yeah. It sounds like.
Yeah, they are. And they
shit, every now and then just shit comes up, right?
Yeah, that's what happens. But they always pay. They literally will write me a massive text and say, "I'm so sorry," and give me the whole story. And I'm like, all I need to know is that you're just, that you're struggling a little bit.
Yeah, you're going to be late. Just let me know you're going to
be late. Just let me know you're going to be late. It's no big deal.
I don't understand that. Like, how can you be late?
If every few months be late.
Well,
it's real easy to do if you've ever lived paycheck to paycheck, and I have. It's shit comes up. Like, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, and then in 2 or 3 months there's a medical thing, or if the car breaks down, or if you pick the fucking catastrophe or thing that can happen, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to dip into, because you're living paycheck to paycheck, you have to dip into money that is not being spent immediately, which is, my rent is not due for another 2 weeks. So I'm going to use the rent money and do this. And then, I'll just pay the late fee and cover it on the back end.
Yeah, but I don't understand why you would structure your expenses such that you would have to live like that.
Well, yeah, I don't know. If you're paycheck to paycheck, you don't have structured expenses. Hang on a sec.
Yeah.
That's because you're an accountant.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been poor before, but I've never been late on stuff. I mean, that's
Yeah.
I
It's
just, I,
you know, I've never hassled them about it. I'm always really easy to deal with on it, but you know, and it, you know, I've had people like I had this one couple, you know, I lost job, changed whatever, having to move back wherever they were from, and they just called me up and like, yeah, we have to move out. We can't. We just, you know, husband just lost a job or whatever, and I can't. They can't afford the bills, and um, and they're like, "Can we get out of the lease?" And I'm like, "Sure, why not? You can't pay the money." You know, if you can't pay, the one thing I don't want to do is I don't want to spend a lot of time in court. Like, I just think that's dumb. Like, that's a waste of my time. It's a waste of money. I just don't want to do it. So if I can just let somebody out of the lease, if they can just pay me what they owe me and just go away, I will let them do that every day. I'm not one of those landlords. It's like, no, you've got 4 months left on the lease, you know, or any of that shit. I'm just like, no, get out of there. So
yeah. So Arthur Daya, you know, I did the same exact thing, right? Like when I was poor, like
yeah,
I moved in with somebody and basically moved into a living room and slept in a living room, right?
yeah.
Like if you're buying more house or renting more house than you can afford, then it's your own damn fault if you're late.
Yeah, and I do think that. So I think what this is what I personally. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what their finances are. I think they are kind of paycheck to paycheck, but I think the bigger thing is that I think the husband's job is pretty seasonal, or at least it's very contract dependent. So he gets like a lot of money, and then he has like no money for 2 or 3 months or whatever. So I will 100% let you pay 12 months in advance, Josie. 100%.
I've done that before.
And I actually have done that
Yeah,
before. I've paid 6 months and 12 months in advance before as a tenant.
that would suck if something happened. You had to move though.
Yeah, yeah. I
You had
mean, it would.
somebody that, well, if you had somebody that wouldn't refund it or whatever, especially.
Yeah,
I've had to have 6 months refunded on an apartment I rented before.
Yeah.
And they refunded it. So
yeah. But yeah, I think in this specific people's case, I think the husband's work is just kind of seasonal or contractual or whatever, and he has like really busy periods and really slow periods, and they'll get, and then they'll have something come up and they'll get behind, and
Yeah.
yeah, whatever.
It's easy to do.
I don't really care as long as they pay the rent and pay the late fee. They never are a month, like a full month behind, and that's all I care about.
Learning to live well within your means, because just living within your means is not enough. So
Yeah.
learning to live well within your means a lot of people get a bad rap because you hear that. Oh, they need to live within their means, and a lot of people live within their means. The problem is, if you're not living well within your means, then you don't have that expendable income to put back into savings to be able to handle stuff. And when you
Yeah.
have an emergency that comes up that's several $100 or whatever, and I'm blessed because I'm in a place in life where that's not a problem. I have savings. I have other things I can dip into. It doesn't affect being able to pay my normal monthly bills, which are
Sure.
fucking low now anyway with kids going, right? But I mean, there was a time that was not the case. So I certainly sympathize with folks like that. But you have to tighten up the belt, and it definitely fucking sucks, for a while until you'll get all that figured out and get yourself, and then you got to get into that routine and stay in that routine, right? It's a practiced thing
Yeah.
as well.
It's an interesting. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't think they're that far out. You know, but I think it also changes. And when it was just me alone, I had no problem. But when it becomes you and someone else that you have to take care of, and a kid and all that, you just you can't live in a 1-bedroom house when you have a kid. You live in a 2-bedroom house though.
I never had that. So
Yeah.
I basically went from my mom's house to my house with the family. So
Yeah. Yeah. I've lived in a lot of apartments, so I get it. I get it a lot. But anyway, Clovertack, how the hell are you, man?
miserable at this particular juncture.
Yeah.
Good Lord, dude. Yeah. So had a family reunion today. So you can
Oh.
imagine the food and shit
Oh.
there that I really didn't need to eat, but I did.
Yeah.
And then got done with that, and I put the grandbabies to work. We did a bunch of stuff, and as payment for their work, we ate T-bones tonight. So, um, I'm pretty miserable after all the food I've had today.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing. I was gonna make steak tonight again, but I don't eat. I don't know. I don't eat a lot normally, but I told my wife, I'm like, I'm gonna do steak tonight. And so middle of the day, she's like, wants to go to Chick-fil-A. And I'm like, all right. So I thought we were just gonna grab Chick-fil-A and go home, and then I wouldn't have to I would not have to have any of it, right?
Yeah,
But
you can
no,
eat at
gotta
home.
go inside. Yeah, gotta go inside and all that. So and this is like 2 o'clock, and I'm like, all right, I guess I had some chicken, no big deal. Then we get home, she's like, are you still making steak? And I'm like, no, I already ate. I'm like, I can't eat at 2 and eat at 5 again. Like I can't do that.
Right.
So
Yeah. Oh man, Arthur dies bringing up the payday loan places. Those fucking loan shark places, dude, are killer. You've got to stay away from those. I fell into that trap. I know many people that have fell into those traps. I know people that are currently in those traps.
in what trap?
The fucking payday loan places.
Oh yeah. Don't do payday loans.
Holy
I missed that. I
shit.
missed the first line. Yeah,
Yeah,
don't do that.
those, Jesus, man, those places are bad. Like, do anything other than that. Sell blood,
Yeah.
whatever you got to do. Like, sexual favors on the corner might even be better than that. I mean, seriously.
Oh, Clovertack, man.
Those places will screw you up. Like, you can't get out of that, you know?
Yeah, man, it's pretty terrible.
Like, you cannot dig out of a payday loan. It's like, you just can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's designed to be that way. I don't know how they get away with it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's no shortage of people that can't think into the future. Like people, like you assume that people are at the same level of thinking as you.
Well, and people don't have the simple math to look at things and go, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Like I borrowed 500 and I'm paying back 200 a month for a year. Like, like
you've watched whatever. I mean, you see what passes for logic, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, all those women, like they'll like, well, not all of them. Like some of the women will breed, and their children will be like dumb like them too. So, I mean,
Well, that's for sure.
yeah. I mean, and their parents are probably dumb as bricks too. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've been I've never done a payday loan, man. I've been really broke, but I've never done payday loan.
I did. Thankfully, we got out of it, and wouldn't had it not been for a income tax refund. Having 3 children, and once upon a time, income tax refunds were really nice when you had kids, but I don't know if it is anymore. Couldn't tell you, but
it's good if you don't make a lot of money.
But if it wasn't for that, we definitely didn't make a lot of money. So
yeah.
Yeah, the more money I make, the more I get punished for it. It's
really I don't even look forward to. I mean, and I'm supposed to be just kicked back, having fun, fucking sort of retired type thing, and I don't even want to deal with fucking taxes for next year, or you know what I mean, in the first of the year.
Yeah, I haven't even done my taxes for last year yet. I filed the extension, and I've just been sitting on it.
Yeah,
I keep doing it so much.
I've never filed an extension, and Lord willing, I don't ever have to. But it's gonna fucking suck in the first part of next year. April, whatever.
Yeah.
It's gonna suck because this year's went pretty damn well. It's gonna suck. It's gonna suck.
Yeah. Oh man, what was I gonna say to Clover Tack? I'm shooting a match tomorrow, man.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna shoot that right behind me there.
Oh yeah, which one? Top one, bottom one?
Bottom one, the AR 15, not the AR 10.
Right.
So it's it's a really interesting. It's gonna be a cool match. I'm gonna shoot my. I haven't decided whether I'm gonna shoot my Sig X5 or the Bull 2011.
Right.
Probably the Bull.
Yeah.
I like it. I just like it so much.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's an interesting.
You've been doing almost every weekend, just about. Seems like.
Well, no, I haven't been able to. I've been shooting a lot, but I haven't been able to. This is I have
Okay.
one monthly match. Yeah, I have one monthly match, and then, but I've been like, so I made, and I don't think it's a real mistake, right? But I think that one of the things that we do, especially as we get older, is we get wrapped up in our projects and things that we just have, stuff that we just build this sense of urgency into things. And so I was like really into buying a couple of businesses and getting all that stuff going. And, after this, so I was all set to buy this body shop, and we were down to I needed to send the letter of intent, and had everything ready to go. My wife and I were talking about it, and she's like, "Do you really want to drive 100 miles, 130 miles, whatever it is, each way to go to that facility?" And I'm like, "Not really." So to her, it stopped making sense. I mean, there were some other things. The biggest thing is that the way that they wanted the deal to go down, the current owners were basically bought out day one, and they could have just left after they had nothing there. So
yeah.
Cam the King, yeah, I could fly, but there's no airport within a reasonable distance of the body shop. So
I'll build an airstrip at the body shop.
they don't have it's downtown.
Oh yeah,
It's literally downtown. It's right off the square. And I was like, man, this kind of sucks, right? Like this is I was really into it. And now my wife's like, just take the time and let's do something in our. So we were really trying not to do anything in our town.
Yeah.
Just kind of don't shit what you eat, shit where you eat, right? Like
yeah, right.
Yeah. And so she's like, let's just get in good with some people, and kind of start doing stuff that puts you in the community more, and just see what happens. And so I'm like, yeah, I mean, why not? So I spent all this year, basically I spent a lot of energy this year trying to buy these two businesses.
Yeah, you have
3 or 4 businesses. And they didn't work out for various reasons, just most of them because I'm in no hurry to. I don't. There's no sense of urgency for me. I'm not going to do something that's not going to be like a home run, right? Like it needs to be like such a win for me that I can't say no.
All right.
Yeah. So. And it's more important. I think my wife also changed her point of view too, because she's like, she really wants me to spend more time and be around the kids more. Man, you know, my 4-year-old is awesome. But this is the point in time where I normally start getting involved with the kids, right? And my older son, he's 15, and I have to be just on him all the time. So it's a great time for me. And my wife's like, yeah, you should probably be more involved day to day. And so maybe you don't need to go buy another business in a big hurry. We don't need to be in a big hurry. And you certainly, you know, buying one 130 miles from the house one way, probably not the best plan.
Yeah.
Not a bad plan, just the best plan.
Right.
Can't argue with that. So, you know, and so this year, like, I'm going into winter, like I'm doing as many matches as I can before the weather really turns.
Yeah.
And I've been working out. I've lost a ton of weight.
Well, I found it. So if you want
You
it back,
did?
let me know.
I don't want it back. No,
Yeah.
you keep it's all yours now, baby.
God, I gotta get back in the gym and shit.
Um,
I gotta start eating right more than anything. But I got a few months for Thanksgiving, so I gotta try to do good for at least between now and then.
I've lost since I went to Alaska. Since I got back from Alaska, I lost. Right now, I'm sitting at roughly 25 pounds down. I have another. I want to lose another. I want to lose another 15.
Yeah,
I want
that's
to be
me. Yeah, I need about 30 max, and I've gained back about. I was to the point that I wanted to do about another 10 or 15, but I've gained about that. So
Yeah.
it's like now I gotta go lose all that shit again, but it's possible. It's just a matter of it's discipline, and I haven't been disciplined lately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also had to get back in the idea of I need to get stronger again because I did have so much. You know, I injured myself and I took so much time where I didn't really do anything, and I kept re-injuring myself. And so now, I mean, I'm back working out. I'm stronger. I'm doing. I work out twice a day. Although I am changing that this week. I'm going from 5 workouts a week, which is basically 5, you know, Monday through Friday, and then the weekend I just go do active stuff. I'm dropping to 3 days, but I'm upping the workouts.
Yeah.
So I need that day in between of recovery. So.
Right. Yeah, I was usually doing 3, about 1 hour a day, 3 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
Usually about what? So, you know, a day in between, essentially. But, you know, I'm also fairly active. That's why I've gained back 10 or 15 as opposed to 40.
Yeah.
Is, you know, I mean, I'm always lifting and hauling and picking up and moving and that sort of stuff. So, always.
Yeah. So. I mean, I really enjoy what I'm doing. I enjoy the work. I enjoy the workouts that I'm doing. I've got, yeah. I mean, I've been on it, man. I've got, I'm almost back to where my legs were as strong as before I was injured, almost. And then, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. And so over the winter, I'm going to continue to, it'll be less about taking the weight off and more about,
and shoot more. So
yeah, and shoot more. Well, I'm definitely shooting a lot more, but it would be less about taking the weight off and just getting overall stronger.
Right.
And then I've got I'm shooting right now. I'm shooting 3 times a week. I may move that to every day a week, 5 days a week. I have an opportunity to do that, but 3 days a week right now, 200 rounds every time I go with pistol. I don't really practice shotgun much, and I don't really need to practice rifle. My rifle is tight, so
Yeah.
I do a lot of weapon manipulation drills.
Right.
So
Yeah, it's one of the most important. I'm thinking about between now and the end of the year. So I usually, and it's all word of mouth, and it's somebody my wife works with, or
mhm.
it's a friend of a family member, or it's but multiple times a year I have people that come out, and I go through. I don't want to say training or a course or anything like that, and in there lies the problem. But they come out and we go over safety and familiarization, and I kind of walk them through here's a selection of things good for carry. Here's a selection of things good for home defense. Here's a selection of things good for hunting. Here's a selection of things good for just having fun out on the range, right? Whatever, competition, whatever. Um, but I want to build out. I want to build out some type of curriculum. I think, and especially in light of kind of what's happened over the last month or so, for sure.
Mhm.
Um, I remember back the summer of love and how many people came into the gun community, right, from that. And, I have this sneaking suspicion that we're in kind of another one of those times. And, I'd like to have some resources available, but I've never advertised, I don't want a straight up business with it, but,
Yeah.
I would be able to to put that out there and actually have a curriculum that I've built out for that, right? And it be standardized at least in some way. So thinking about doing that and charging for it because ammo's not fucking free. But
Yeah.
but where else is somebody going to go and have access to the collection I've got? You know what I mean? To be able to, for their first experience with firearms or whatever, actually go through a litany. You would spend hundreds of dollars easily at a rental range. You know what I mean? To get that, plus have to buy your ammo and
Yeah.
targets and other stuff. So
Yeah. I have a lot of steel targets. I've got a lot of money invested in those. So
yeah, I like my steel.
yeah, I've got but I have a place now where I can practice. They're we're trading. I'm loaning them my Texas Star or my spinner, pardon me, not the Texas Star, the spinner and a couple of and some steel targets, and they're allowing me to use their private range. So
All right, hey, Grid, I'm gonna go ahead and bounce.
you're out, man.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
start
we're gonna go about another. I'll probably go about another hour, and then we'll call it at the end of the chill stream. I will be chilled the fuck out.
Yeah.
All right.
So
All right.
The stream I'm doing, we're gonna look at Glenn's website. I think I'll do that first and put the link out for anybody that wants to donate, and we'll just basically
Yeah.
go through his entire not for profit a little bit too, because he needs support. You talked about that at the beginning of the stream.
Yeah.
He needs if anybody can help Glenn out with his not for profit, they really need to support him on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll talk later. See you, Grid.
All right, man. See ya. All right. Yeah,
Cam out there's got a home range. Nice.
yeah. I had a home range when I had my place in War Trace and it was cool, but now I live it's so sad. I live less than 3/4 of a mile to the county line, and if I was on the county line, I could shoot in my backyard, but I don't.
Yeah,
So.
it sucks.
I know, so close. Yeah,
I've got 75 yards literally, almost out the back door. And then, very short trip to get around to the old pond area and whatnot and over there shotgunning. Well, not talking about sporting clay shotgunning. Over the old pond area, and then I can get out probably 300 yards or so ish if I needed to back there. I'm back into a pretty good hill there, so I have to natural berm, right? Probably 150 foot, or something hill.
My place in War Trace, so if you can imagine like the road ran in front of the property, and the house set back at kind of an angle to the road, and then the out off to that angle to that was a hillside with a creek.
Yeah.
And the yard ran down. So effectively, I could shoot into the hillside from my front porch, and I did, and it was great because I could shoot all the way up that hillside. So I had targets at various ranges and steel, and it was great. But I sold the house, and then I had that all went away.
Yep. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and my property. So then I have 20 acres that's outside in the county, and I can shoot there. The problem is that we used to have 40 acres behind us, so it's my 20, and then they're 40, and I could shoot through there because it was cornfield, and they didn't care. So we could shoot in that general direction. Now we had a berm and stuff, but we could shoot in that general direction. Nobody cared. Now their houses back. They sold the cornfields, and now their houses there. You can't shoot back there anymore.
Yeah.
There's no way to do it.
Well, you don't have an actual range, so you couldn't argue that.
No, yeah, I can't. Well, even if I did, and it wouldn't have been on they didn't build on my property. They built behind it. So
but I mean, the way that it works here in Texas is if you have a range and it's an established range, and then they come in and they build a subdivision downrange of your range after you've been there 20 or 30 years, then fuck them. There's nothing they
Yeah, unfortunately, no, we didn't have that. I mean, it was a range, but it wasn't. We didn't have a range permit, which honestly the prior owners should have done, because it's like $10 or $20 or some shit like that. It's like so cheap, to get a range permit. And there's actually
I don't have to worry about. So I'm bordered by family land, and then I'm bordered by a massive swath of land that it's old family land from a different family, and they will never sell that land. Like that will get passed down. There's like nobody's ever going to sell that land. And then I don't know if any of that land is actually, man, the amount of work you would have to do to build any type of subdivision or do anything like that. But who wants to live in a subdivision that's fucking 45 minutes from the nearest grocery store? Like that's
be
not
surprised, man. That's exactly what I thought. But I was like, they're fucking doing it. Like the nearest grocery store to my property out in Las Casas is 20 to 25 minutes, and that's with no traffic.
Yeah, we're talking twice as long, but I mean, that's still a long way to have to go just to get a gallon of milk or whatever you need, a loaf of bread or whatever, for sure. I don't know. I just don't see it. And one of the other reasons I don't see it is we've talked about this, is the county I live in is, one of the shit poorest fucking counties in Texas. Like it's the average income here is like $23,000 or some shit.
Wow.
That's a year, so who's going to buy those houses? Right.
Right. Well, actually, that's something you had told me about some property out there. It was like 75 grand. And I'm like, damn, I got to just go buy that.
Yeah. The one that was, I guess, quote unquote neighbor, close enough, if you know the area, a neighbor.
Yeah.
They were, it was what did I tell you? 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
I think it was, yeah.
And then a 2-car garage with an apartment on the top of it, a workshop downstairs, and an apartment above. And then, I don't even remember, 10, 12 acres, 15 acres, 17 acres. I don't even remember. Yeah, it was like 75 grand or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually considered it, believe it or not. For a short period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you realize you'd have to move all that heavy shit that you have.
Well, no, I mean, we've considered it, but that house is probably about average age anyway, because our house was the original part of our house was built probably in the fucking 30s.
Mm.
And then it's been added on all the way up through the probably early mid-ish 2000s, 20 years ago, probably before we, since we've done anything like that major. So anywhere in between, right? And then this one, I'm going to say probably was built in the late 70s, early 80s or so. So like, it's not like it's a new house, right? And, it's just, I mean, I could spend 75 grand on that. And granted, it comes with some acreage that would extend the swath of land, family land type thing. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
they're neighbors. But that's great for hunting and a lot of other reasons. And the creek does run through that area as well. But of course, it runs on our land too. I'm just saying
Sure.
we got water there.
Yeah.
And then but it's like, do I want to do that? Because then 75 grand with me doing the work and everything, and some of the other resources and things I've got access to, 75 grand to go a long way into a brand new barn door build. You know what I mean? And it's like, man, I'd rather do that than take on somebody else's. I know I'm not saying the house was falling in or anything, but you know what I mean, taking on somebody else's problem, having to go in and do things, because you're going to spend 75 grand and you're going to go in and spend another potentially 20 or 30, right? You're at 100 grand. And I'm like, damn, I could build one hell of a barn door, furnished appliances and fucking everything for 100 grand. Especially doing it myself.
Yeah. I am so independent thinker says Amazon charges Prime twice to deliver to you. Probably not, but I bet you're on the list for drones.
Could be. We do really good. I mean, we're on. Here's what's fucked up is my zip code. We're obviously rural delivery, and it's fucked up because there is a post office literally like 3 miles, 5 miles, something down the road. But that's not the zip code we're in, as far as our address, and that's not where our mail is delivered from. Our mail is delivered from a post office that's like 20 some odd miles or something away. So that gets janky sometimes. And then, but UPS and FedEx, believe it or not, like the ones that the delivery drivers and stuff that run the routes around here, like they run them pretty regular, I guess, and they're just used to it. I mean, they're pretty good, believe it or not. It's not that bad. And I mean, we get stuff next day, which is amazing. But I don't know I don't know where the closest Amazon warehouse to us even is. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a long way off. It's got to be a couple 100 miles, easy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it's just Texas is so big, man. I mean, if people that haven't driven across Texas have no freaking clue. So.
Yeah, and I'm not in West. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the woods of East Texas, and it's crazy like that. Can you imagine? Super rural. Can you imagine? I mean, I can because I've been out there and spent a lot of time out there.
I've been to Marble Falls.
But for the people that have been in the Hill Country or Odessa, Permian Basin area or Big Bend area or anything, like, holy shit! I mean, it's not that bad here, but it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like, the whole idea of electric cars, for example. Like, I like the idea of an electric car, but they're going to have to. The range is going to have to get into the 400 and 500s miles. Honestly, before we could even remotely start to consider it, especially when they've got things like the Kia we've got now that gets 40 plus to the gallon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the cost of the vehicle offset with the everything else. I mean, they're going to have to get the batteries to do better, and they're getting there. I got no doubt they'll eventually get it there. But that would be kind of cool for the daily driver things around here. Because that's a problem. If you don't fucking come home on a quarter tank of gas, you know what I mean? Like fuck that. I mean, and I don't even leave town if I'm in town and I've got a vehicle that's a half a tank, even close to a half a tank, I fill up.
Yeah, you
I
fill up.
mean, we fill up before we go home.
Yeah, I've been out in Marble Falls. I've been out around Waxahachie. I've actually driven quite a
Oh, that's two
quite a
totally
bit.
separate areas. You know,
I
two
know. I've
total
been
ends
through,
of
and
the,
I've driven from one to the
total
other.
ends of the state. Yeah,
I've
yeah.
driven from one to the other. Matter of fact, I remember
Yeah.
I drove down to Waxahachie, Texas.
Waxahachie, yeah.
So I
It's
drove from
there's a good range
Denver
at
to
Waxahachie.
Waxahachie, and it was 14 hours down there.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
shot a match.
Yep.
And I'd helped out a buddy of mine.
IDPA match?
No, 3-gun match.
That was a 3-gun.
Yeah, and helped out a friend of mine. This was at ETTS, which is outside of Waxahachie.
Yeah.
And so we shot a match there. My buddy Brian Nelson had flown in, and we shot the match there. And then I took him to the airport, and then I drove back to Colorado, and I made it home. A 14-hour drive. I made it home before he even got on the plane because the flights got so messed up in Texas for some reason. And it was a 14-hour drive from Waxahachie to Colorado.
That's one of the reasons. I mean, my wife and I like to road trip, but that's one of the reasons, and that's why I did jumped up. Y'all were talking about vehicles and leases and payments and other things, and I had to sit through all the fucking real estate and financial prattle, but it was okay. But that's, we like to road trip, but then the other reason is there's circumstances that you never know. So, going to these events, driving just makes it so much easier. You ain't got to worry about flight delays or weather to an extent, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about if you've got to take something or bring something home. You don't have to worry about it too much. Just, I don't know. You don't have to worry about renting a car, right? Once you're there, because all too often you'll go to these events and it sounds great. It's in this city, and I can Uber to the restaurants and do this and to the venue. But then you've got range days, and those are fucking an hour away from wherever, you know what I mean? Like an hour away from wherever the facility is the show's at. So it's like, you can't fucking Uber there and back. That's a fortune.
Right.
And so, you don't have to worry about that as well when you're driving. But that's why we were looking at the whole lease thing when you were talking about it, because even if we stack the miles like you were talking about, if we're going to go with a loaded out Kia K5, for example, we can get into the low 300s, maybe 3.5, and that's even stacking mileage, on a lease. And you're looking at, $2-3 grand, right?
Yeah.
At signing, not terrible. Again, if you've taken care of your finances and you have a savings, not terrible. But then
that's okay. Anthony's not here to get mad at you and yell at you.
Yeah, but the other thing that we can consider is I've got an 06 F-150, an 03 Mustang, and this 19 Kia, right? So we have daily drivers. Like, we're not going to be, except for traveling, we're not going to be put miles on it anyway. And if we were to rent vehicles, it would cost that much or more to rent vehicles. You know what I mean? To travel with.
Yeah, actually, we didn't even get into the rental thing because I owned dualies. Obviously, I needed dualies to drag my race cars around. And there was a point in time where my payment on my dually was like $1,250 or $1,285 a month, whatever it was. And I could rent a brand new dually with unlimited mileage and free service from Enterprise Commercial for $800 a month.
Wow.
And I was like, fuck yes. It's basically $200 a week. And I was like, fuck yeah, hell yeah, I'm doing that. Why would I not do that?
Yeah, you can't do that shit no more. Or I
Yeah,
mean,
not anymore.
well, let me back up. When you're talking about some specialty, and the dually from Enterprise is going to be a specialty. When you're talking about some of the specialty stuff, maybe. Um, but you know, when you're talking about the gas getter vehicles and the things like that, holy shit, dude. It's I can't remember, but I mean, we for less than a week before on a Nissan Versa. You know, I can remember, and this was years ago because again, we bought this 19 in early 20, but so we haven't rented anything in 5 years or so. But so it's been 5 years ago. It's probably more expensive now, but it was for like 3 days or 4 days or something, maybe definitely under a week for a Nissan fucking Versa, bro. Like a stripped down too. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Not heated seats and fucking stereo system and like alloy wheel. Fuck that. None of that shit. Right? It was like $800 for the days we had it, 3 or 4 days or whatever. It wasn't even a week. You know, for a Nissan Versa.
Yeah, wow.
And that was Enterprise.
Wow. That's crazy.
And that's
I
what I'm
tried
saying. We can make lease payments and shit for that kind of money easily. That was 3 months. You know what I mean? Just on that one trip with that one car, that was 3 months of lease payments.
Yeah.
Like it's a no-brainer when you look at it that way.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. It's it's interesting, man. I think I pretty much bored the entire audience. They've all left, I think. I don't know why.
Have they? I haven't looked at the numbers.
Yeah, I don't. It's very quiet in chat.
They probably followed Anson, but Cam's out there, Independent's out there.
Yeah, Cam's out there. Cam's going to hang out.
So,
yeah.
All the chicks definitely left with a gun prattle. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, there's no real gun prattle tonight. We're not really talking guns that much. We can.
We did a little bit, but it was just long enough to run them off when you were talking about doing the range and whatever. Yeah.
I did a bunch. I've tried a bunch of different stuff to try and save money with vehicles and everything else. So,
yeah,
it's been
well when when you own stuff and have stuff, right?
Yeah,
like it just makes sense. And I mean, we own 3, so
right.
Got the truck if I need to, tote something around, haul something around, move something, whatever. Got the newer car, which is 40 something miles a gallon. Even fun to drive on top of that. This fucking thing's alive. And then if I decide to get it out, work on it, and play around with it some more, I've got that Mustang, and that's my plan eventually, is to get that back out and play around with it, because it was a fun car.
I had I still remember what it was like to need a car that got like 17 miles, or not 17, got like 50 miles a gallon. So I had there was a point in my life where I drove all over the place all the time, but I didn't have any money, right? Like I worked in movie theaters, and I did a bunch of different stuff, and I ended up, I had several different like cheap vehicles. I ended up picking up this Volkswagen diesel pickup. It's called a Caddy.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And
yeah,
without even trying, this thing would get 45, 50 miles a gallon loaded. Like I could put concrete blocks up to the top of the cab, and it just didn't give a fuck. It was just super cheap on gas. And then I had an issue with the engine, so we pulled that engine out, and I put a newer engine, turbo diesel engine, out of a Jetta in it, because it's all Volkswagen, all bolts together. It's all the same shit. They never changed it.
Yeah.
And so I put that engine in it, and I could get in 5th gear rolling down the highway at like 80 miles an hour. I was getting 65, 70 miles a gallon sometimes. Like it was insane how good of fuel mileage that thing got.
Some of those diesels do great, man.
And it was just such a, it was, but now let me tell you, if you've never seen one of these, two big boys ain't getting in it together
Yeah.
sometimes,
Yeah.
unless they love each other a lot.
Right.
And and I remember my girlfriend at the time, she was pretty skinny, but she hated the smell of diesel. Hated it. And she would never ride in it with me. And or very rarely, but I loved that thing. It was so great. And I put all the all the Volkswagen Rabbit GTI stuff on the front of it, so it looked cool. But it was just a cool little pickup to run around town, and like, they just, around town, I was getting 40 miles of the gallon. On the interstate, I could get ridiculous mileage.
I hate that they don't make the little pickups anymore. I mean, the little Rangers or S10s or even the hard bodies, or whatever. It breaks my heart, man. There was a
Nissan's
Nissan's
the
place.
only one. Nissan still got the Frontier, or whatever they call it.
That's not a little pickup though,
It's
dude.
not
Come
little. On. Yeah, I mean
it's not a hard. It's not hard body little.
No, it's not hard body little. And my brother has is it a Tacoma or something? And it is a 4-cylinder 5-speed, and it will actually get good mileage. Like it really will. Like, because all other Toyotas suck. They suck gas so bad. And I one of the things I love to do with my brother is challenge him to a mileage contest with his Tundra versus my Silverado. And he will fail every time. Because that Toyota just sucks gas so bad.
Well, I was talking about, needing to get back to the gym. And I'm going to be honest with you. Again, live out in the middle of fucking nowhere, right? I said something to my wife the other day, because she'll go to the gym on her way home from work, right? So, I mean, she's already in town. And, like, I don't have that luxury. So, it's a two-way trip for me.
Yeah.
And it's like, in my truck, like, holy fuck. Like, I can't afford to go to the gym 3 days a week.
Yeah. So, Smoking Spaceman says his Gen 1 Tundra V8 wasn't bad. That's exactly what he has. He has a Gen 1 Tundra V8 extended cab. I don't think I can't remember his is a crew cab or not, but I think it's just the extended little like half cab thing that they have. And I have a Silverado with the 6.2. What they call it, a Vortex. It's not really a Vortex, but it's an LS motor. And it and I get, if I'm not being a dick, I get like somewhere around 20 to 22 out of it driving around.
Yeah.
If I'm stuck in traffic or I'm a dick, I'll get 16 to 18.
So my 06 F-150, when I first got it, so whatever it was, super low mileage, like less than 10K, whatever it was, may have been like 2 or 3, I don't remember. Got easily 20 foot, like mid 20s or something.
Yeah.
Right. It did really, really well for a truck. Now it's not low geared, and that's a problem in and of itself for like pulling trailers and some other shit. But it's not a powerhouse by any stretch of the imagination, but it got good mileage. It's a good highway truck. And but it's like 300,000+ miles on it at this point. And that mid 20s is like 15 if I'm lucky or some shit. Like it's not good. It's not good. And it's the age on it. Like nothing just operates like it used to. Now could I spend 10 grand on the fucker, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Replace injectors and plugs and this, that, and the other, and sensors and reprogram shit and do other things and could get most of it back, sure. But I mean, it's an 06. It's 20 years old, and you're going to spend that much money on it? I don't think so.
I mean, I don't know. I had a so my truck's a 2014 Silverado, and my brother's truck is, I think, an 08 Tundra. and if he's lucky, he gets 16 miles to the gallon. If he's like so fucking lucky,
Yeah.
16 to 18 is I think the best he can do. He one time claimed that he had like mathematically proven that he could get like 20 out of it, but I never saw
Well,
that.
I don't know what generation or what year or anything else it is, but I know that my uncle has a Titan.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And
they're even worse, probably.
yeah, he's complained forever. He's always bitching about and he's a truck driver. He's not home very often to drive it. That's kind of
Yeah.
the saving grace, I guess, for him.
Right.
But whatever he does, he's always bitching. No,
Yeah.
I was gonna say about my truck. Here's the fucked up thing is I wouldn't notice it so bad with my truck, except for the fact that we got this, if my wife was still in the Mustangs, which they're fucking electric now or whatever the hell, which is stupid. But if it was still a situation where I was driving the '06 F-150, she was driving the '03 or what I think it's an '03 Mustang,
Mhm.
then it'd be like, okay, it wouldn't be that big a deal. But after moving into this fucking Kia at 40 something miles to the gallon,
Yeah.
like, holy shit, that opened my eyes, and it's twice as much gas mileage,
Right.
on a good day. And so it hurts to get in that truck and drive it anywhere. It
Yeah.
hurts. I could fill that fucking Kia up for, of course, bigger tank in the F-150 too, right? But
Right.
like I could fill that Kia up for 20 some odd dollars, and it's every bit of 60 to fill the F-150 up.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I have I don't know. I just think Toyota sucks. I've just never liked Toyota. I just don't like them. So,
I had a
but
79 Celica that was pretty badass.
I mean, I've done a lot of work on Toyotas. I've done a lot of Supras. I owned a Supra for a while, a Mark
My
III.
my youngest daughter bought when she graduated college, as a matter of fact, that's when it was. She was out of college. Well, I don't know that she was even out of college. She may have been last year
Mm-hmm.
or something. She was close. And she'd saved a bunch of money. She'd done everything that she was supposed to do. And to literally pay cash from one.
Right.
And we went out and I was like, if you save up your money, tens of thousands of dollars, whatever, and I'll help you. We'll try to find something you can pay cash for. You don't want to get, first job and all that out of college. You don't want a car note and just overwhelm yourself, right? But we'll find you something decent, right? Save enough that we can find you something decent and just pay cash. And it turns out I had a buddy that worked at the Nissan dealership, and so we went and seen him, and they'd just gotten in a few years old Toyota Corolla. And up until she sold it, that was a great car for her. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, it's I just don't like Toyotas. My I don't really care much for Nissans either. Mitsubishi, Mazda, they're cool.
dude, the early like the early '80s, man. I'm just going back to the heydays of racing and other shit, but in the early '80s, there was some pretty badass Toyotas and Nissans.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, no, I mean I've done several Supras. I've done some I've actually done some GTRs, the R32s, R33s.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I've done, but that was just kind of my job.
I've always been a Ford guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's really weird. My dad's diehard Chevrolet,
Yeah.
but both of my grandfathers worked for Ford. Well, let me back up. I had a grandfather and a great grandfather that worked for Ford. My grandfather actually worked for Ford. I got a great uncle that actually owned a Ford dealership. And then I got a great grandfather that actually worked for Ford Tractor, Ford Agriculture, whatever you want. He worked at the tractor facility, not the vehicles. So a lot of Ford, right? And I just always gravitated that way. And then buying cars for the wife, whatever. same way. Like she's pretty much always had Mustangs,
Mhm.
not because they were sporty or anything, but just because they were so easy to work on and maintained, and they just never really tore up, and that sort of thing. Um, she had an Explorer one time as well. Um,
I've still got an Expedition.
but oh yeah, Expeditions are solid. Probably the best for apocalyptic scenario, standard vehicle for apocalyptic scenario, expedition or excursion, um but I've come around lately to some of the foreign stuff, but I keep looking because I think I've told you this. I'm not um I really want to go Kia again.
Mm. So I
But
like Kia because
the problem with going Kia is I don't fucking like the new cars, especially the way
no,
the
you don't
ass
like
end
the
is
style.
the
Yeah,
ass end is designed. If
I
they
got
would change the design, I would be all over it. It wouldn't be a problem. But
you. Yeah.
I see them on the highway. I see them when I take this one in for service. I see them on the highway, and I just have not come around to it, and I don't think I'm going to. So I've started expanding my search, right? Because everybody offers
Mhm.
leases and whatnot, and so I moved over to Hyundai, which is
Mhm.
essentially the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Um,
They
and they're
no.
not
So Hyundai and Kia are the same company. Kia is owned by Hyundai, and
right.
Hyundai and Kia is the sporty
It's
and
two
cheaper
brothers.
um, arm of Hyundai for intended for college students and people like that.
Yeah, and then you got Genesis is the
And
high
then
end, right?
Genesis is the luxury brand.
So I've been looking at so I moved over and started looking at Kia. I mean at Hyundai, but I've looked at Mazda, looked at Subaru, I've looked at Toyota, I've looked at Honda, and I just I don't know. I'm kind of with you, like Toyotas. I'm just not. And I know people that have Camrys and shit, and the Camrys look good. They look good. Um, and I know people that have older Camrys that have got really, really good service out of
Yeah.
them. And then so I look at those and it's like, man, they don't really necessarily impress me either. Any of those other ones. But then I start thinking, if I'm fucking leasing it, what difference does it
Mhm.
make? You know what I mean? Like it's gonna, the difference it's gonna make is on a long stretch of fucking highway between here and goddamn Nevada. I don't want to be broke down at 2 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? On a shot
Yeah.
trip or whatever. That's what difference it makes. Like how many Kia dealer or dealerships in general are between Amarillo and Kingman, Arizona. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
not fucking many.
Yeah.
So like there's not that many options. And
Well,
so it's
the thing
like
with
it
Kia and Hyundai is for the longest time they used Mitsubishi motors, and they were very common. So did Mazda. Mazda used a Mitsubishi motor for a while.
mhm, yeah.
As far as to answer bucket buttons question here,
Bucket
Mitsubishi
button.
over Toyota. Yeah. So all right. So here's the thing about Toyota. Toyota's never actually made a good car. I don't like any of their cars. I think people are just they buy into a legend that doesn't exist. And I mean every single Toyota pickup, every single Toyota truck, period, eats brakes like it's their fucking job, and when they're working overtime. I mean, I just can't tell you how many. I mean, and now they made me a lot of money. I'll be honest with you. Toyota's made me a shit ton of money, but
Yeah.
I never liked them. Um,
I'll tell you about what is the
Mitsubishi is one of the largest companies in the world.
so the yeah Mitsubishi makes everything, don't they?
They make a lot of
Um,
shit, and the cars are their cars are kind of a second thought, or they became kind of a second thought. Um, and I've always liked Mitsubishis. I've owned an Evo. I've actually owned a couple Evos. I've owned I've done a lot with the Diamond Star cars, the Eclipse, Talon, and Laser. I personally had a Mitsubishi Eclipse with leather interior and sound system and everything that had over 500 wheel horsepower, and it spooled so fast that it would literally spin all 4 tires, and it would change lanes. If you came on the boost, just driving down the highway, it would change lanes. It had so much torque, steer would just go swoop right over. It was really cool. And they're just bulletproof. I mean, they just don't break until you push tons and tons of power out of them. And yet every Toyota fucking breaks. Like I never bought into just because I had so many of them in my shop at any given time.
Yeah.
I just never bought into it. Now Honda, I don't like Honda, but I will give them credit.
They make a ton of shit. They make a ton of shit too.
Right. Yeah, they're a big fucking company.
And I'll tell you something. I will give Honda props for something. Like I said, not necessarily a fan of their cars, even though I know people that's had them that's super, super high mileage too. We're talking years and years ago. We're talking 20 years ago plus, if not 30. So you got to realize when I say this, I'm not talking modern shit. But I will tell you something that to this day Honda does well, and that's small engine. Holy shit. Generators, different equipment. Like, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Honda's got some solid small engines.
Honda just, and I don't like Honda for the most part, but I will give them credit that their shit just doesn't fucking break.
Yeah.
Like you could pull out, I mean, now but there's a downside to this. Honda also, and Subaru's just guilty of this, and some other manufacturers, they've been recommending this 0-20 weight oil for so long. And the problem is that over time, because they're using low tension rings, you'll start using oil, and that kills O2 sensors and a bunch of other shit. And I have friends of mine that still work at Honda dealers that tell me they're putting brand new engines in 40, 50,000 mile cars under warranty, and there's nothing wrong with the engine. If they put 30 weight oil in it, it won't use a drop. But because they have to, because they're the dealer and they have to put 20 weight oil in, it will smoke every time.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm a fan of in the 80s, again, the early 80s particularly, but I guess mid and late to an extent on some. But again, going back to the small trucks, the Toyota 4x4s, holy shit, dude. Like the Back to the Future 4x4, if anybody knows what I'm talking about, like that style, it was pre-Tacoma, so I'm not even sure. I don't remember what they called them. The Toyota pickup, I think, was what they called it.
Yeah.
But holy shit, like I've off-roaded with a lot of those fuckers back in the day, and I even had a buddy that put a 350, a Chevy 350. No, he didn't. He put a 305. He put a Chevy 305 in one, and he had to cut fender wells and all kinds of shit to do it. But that was badass, But again, we go back to the little trucks that they don't make. My Nissan hardbody 4x4 back in the day had a 89, I think. And we did a lot of fucking off-roading crazy shit back in those days. Lifted, fucking 33s and all that crazy shit. And even it was badass. But again, they don't fucking make anything. It's the government and the pollution and regulation and the fuck. Just stop.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty bad. I mean, and I know this is a boring conversation to a lot of people, but I really I'm pretty damn opinionated on automotive stuff just because I saw it in the shop so many times and looked at it. And, you can look at some cars and they're just fucking made right. And then you look at other cars and you're like, what the fuck are these people were drunk.
So first of all, you were talking about losing people, and we got more people out there.
Yeah, I know. We got more people
commenting than there was earlier. So
they
like the car prattle.
Like the car prattle.
What was you saying just now? Oh, you talking about seeing them in the shop. So I watched the thing, and it was in the process of, because it's been months now that I've been looking into the lease thing. I mean, we've got to, you know, this one might, you know, I might end up trusting this one for one more trip to Vegas. You know what I mean? But it's getting time to shit or get off the pot with it, really. So we got to figure something out. And so anyway, I was
What's the
watching a
problem with it?
video. Nothing. It's just got 100 and it's over 100,000 miles now on it, and it's been
On
taken.
which
It's been
one?
the Kia, the
Oh,
2019.
yeah.
And I mean, it's been serviced. It's taken care of. It's
Barely broken in, man.
I understand that, but it's in my brain, right? Like it
Yeah, I
worries
got you.
because it's not under any kind of warranty or anything, and that's another issue. That again, what happens when you get caught out in the middle of fucking nowhere?
Yeah.
You know, you can't just get it towed to a dealership and whatever. Now you got to try to find a shop to get it to, and like, oh my god.
I
Anyway,
have a great story about that. $5
so
from Christopher Scott. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate that.
yeah, another guy that's out there that wasn't earlier.
Yeah.
But so in my homework, when I again, like I was talking about earlier, when I kind of shifted away from okay, I don't know about Kia, let's look at Hyundai. Okay, let's look at some other stuff. I went down a rabbit hole of some YouTube videos with some different different cars and like not necessarily reviews, but like repair cost and cost of ownership stuff. And run across a guy that had a shop, and he had a pretty big channel, and he's got a shop, and he was going through the foreign cars and the top 5 or something like most costly that he sees as far as repairs. Toyota was fucking number 1 as far as the most expensive.
Oh yeah,
cost
I
of
100%
ownership.
believe that. I 100% believe
it was
that.
number 1.
And I've made so much money off of Toyotas.
Yeah,
like so much money off of Toyotas.
Yeah, Smoking says 85 Toyota SR5 extended cabs, the Back to the Future. Yeah, that's that body style is what I was talking about.
Yeah. I mean, I just have very specific things I look for in cars and all that kind of stuff. I tell you that I mean,
you can't store cars like you can guns, or I would have a bunch of cars.
Right. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, you can't just throw them in a drawer.
I'm not Jay Leno, right? I don't have the big, huge fucking warehouse.
Yeah, I enjoy all the cars I have. But like, so I'll tell you a story. I don't know if I've shared this before. So one year we were going to, I didn't intend to go, right? But I needed to do some networking at Mid Ohio, and obviously I was in Denver at the time, and I had a friend of mine needed a car hauled from Denver to Mid Ohio for the race weekend. And I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll do that. That's no problem. So I go over and pick up Dan's car's E46. His might have been an M car. No, actually, it's E36 M, and it was a nice car. And it was NASA. You know, he was racing it in NASA there at Mid Ohio. And then I had another car to pick up, which was a Camaro. So I went over and picked the Camaro up. Everything's great. Head out, and everything's rolling pretty smooth, right? No problems. Until I get about halfway across Kansas, and the engine blows in the truck. I just had the engine rebuilt probably 3, 4, 5 months before. The truck had 300,000 miles on it. The engine, no, I'm sorry. I had not yet had the engine rebuilt. The engine had like 300,000 miles on it, and it was running perfect. Everything's great. I'm going down the highway. I'm passing a semi, and all of a sudden I see all of this like fog behind the truck, and I'm like, what the hell? And right about the time my mind said hell, all the gauges went fucking nuts, and the engine shut off. Now, that was a Chevy dually, so it had Hydro Boost brakes, which don't have any boost unless the engine's running. There's no power. And so I somehow managed to get to the shoulder of the road without dying, right? Because there's semis past me, right? And so I get over to the side of the road. Now this is a 44-foot steel trailer that I have with me. So it's not light.
Right.
And so I call up and I call a tow company and I say, hey, I'm stuck on a highway. I got a dually with a 44-foot trailer, 2 race cars in it. And they're like, yeah, that's a medium duty wrecker. You need to call this other guy. So they gave me the number. I wrote it down. I called him. Called the guy. Guy's there in like 30 minutes. He gets a flashlight out. He and I start looking underneath it. There's oil all down one side of the motor, but there's no holes in the block or anything. And so I'm like, I don't know what happened, but that thing, its motor is seized 100%.
Yeah.
So
what was this? A Chevrolet or a
Chevrolet? Yeah.
Yeah.
Duramax.
Yeah.
He pulls me off the side of the road. Now this is I want to say it's Easter weekend. Was it Easter weekend? It was a holiday weekend. Pulls me off the road and he's like, hey, nobody's going to be in the office. So if I put your truck and trailer in there, well, he's like, hey, what's your plan? I'm like, well, I'm going to get a truck and I'm going to get the fuck out of here. And he's like, okay, well, if I put your truck in the lot, then you won't be able to get it out because it'll be locked and nobody's going to be there. It's holiday weekend. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, you're right. It is holiday. So he parked me at the truck stop. And then I slept in the truck. I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, called my wife, told her I was broke down, and started calling people to find a truck. And I had an option of buying a truck from Bob Woodman up in Kansas or wherever, and that they would have driven it down to me, or not Kansas, Nebraska, where the fuck they were, wherever Bob Woodman is, and they were going to bring me a truck down. Or one of our friends had a F550 with a Western hauler bed on it, but it was 2-wheel drive, and I normally only buy 4-wheel drive trucks, but they didn't want a ton of money for us. I'm like, all right, we'll do it, no problem, make it happen. So called one of my guys up, told him to go pick the truck up. He went over, picked the truck up. He headed to where I'm at, and now I'm like, and I got my problem solved. I need to get some sleep. So the wrecker driver actually came back by and took me to the hotel so I could. I checked into a room, got 3 or 4 hours of sleep, got up, had some dinner. The guy shows up. We literally pushed the dead truck out from underneath the trailer, backed the new truck up, hooked it up, and then the wrecker driver came back and towed my truck to their tow-in lot and stored it for me. He charged me for this whole thing, which I honestly thought was going to be $300-400. He charged me $75.
Wow. Yeah, easily that.
Like, I honestly thought it's a medium duty wrecker, dude.
Yeah. Wow.
And like I'm like, fuck, I hope I have enough cash for this shit because I don't think they take credit cards. And he's like, it'll be $75. And I'm like, wow. I mean, that's a fucking deal. And he did all that shit. And then
nowadays that's all they take because they don't want to be driving around with cash.
Yeah. And so then I had to leave the truck there, and I ended up having to come back over and get it. And when I went to pick it up, he charged me, I think, $100 for like a month of storage on it, and helped me load it up on the trailer. And I drug it back, and then I had the engine rebuilt and everything. And what had happened was there's like an O-ring, or not an O-ring, pardon me. There's a oil cooler that sits between the oil filter housing and the engine block, and that oil cooler had split. There's another shooting today, this one at the New Hampshire Country Club, going on right now.
Wow. A little late, man.
That was what I was thinking. I mean, that's
what's going on at the country club. Like, that's not related. That's a somebody's wife deal.
Yeah, no shit. No shit, man. Let's see what's up. Thank you, ZD Den. 1 dead, others injured. Lone suspect. A person of interest is in custody. 1 person was killed and others injured in a shooting at the Sky Meadow Country Club in Nassau, New Hampshire, Saturday evening. Officials are saying some of the injuries were gunshot wounds and others were injuries sustained in the chaos because drunk people fall over each other.
All right.
Video surveillance showed the suspected shooter in the attack. And it was at the Sheridan Nassau Hotel, just over a mile from the country club, is being used as a unification site. So, you know, if you're one of those people that are at the party, that's where you're going to be. It was apparently a wedding party. That's all they're telling me here.
Yeah, talk about objecting to a fucking wedding. Whew.
I know, right? So what is ZD Den says there's a wedding. There was a wedding backpack shooter. What's a back? What do we talk? What are we calling a backpack shooter?
He carried it in his backpack or something. Maybe.
Yeah, they originally thought it was 2 people. Now they're saying it's just a 1. Shotgun wedding to a whole new level. Right. No shit.
Right.
No shit, man.
Yeah, you're gonna hear. Here's the weird thing is, had we not had the issues we've had in the last week or whatever, you wouldn't have even heard about this.
No.
At the country club wedding, you wouldn't have even heard. You wouldn't even.
It doesn't trigger any of the.
The only reason is because things are so heightened right now, and they want to fearmonger and whatever.
Well, I wonder if somebody was sticking their dick where it wouldn't belong.
Oh, I can almost wedding party country club. I mean,
it's literally like the police chief Kevin Rourke announced that late Saturday night that an adult man was shot and killed.
Yeah, like it's all speculation, no doubt, right?
Yeah, it is definitely speculation.
But
I'm
1
speculating.
1 plus 1 plus 1 usually equals 4. Just saying.
Yeah. It seems like maybe somebody objected seriously to the wedding, or one of the bridesmaids was, stepping out.
Yeah.
It's like the backpack is becoming an MO of plan. 6'3" tall, wearing a backpack. Okay. Yeah. Okay. The backpack is becoming, yeah.
Well, a backpack is a great way to carry shit. So, I mean, it's like, that's just natural. And you don't have to have a trench coat and, too hot for a fucking trench coat. What are you talking about?
So the witness was at a wedding inside. So it wasn't at the wedding. This witness was at a wedding inside the country club. She said the shooting took place at the restaurant in the room next door.
Oh, somebody was on a date.
Bartender, did you? That's what happened.
Somebody was on a date. Somebody's fucking wife was on a date.
Oh boy,
with somebody else's. Yeah.
What's that? Give me 2 steps, mister.
Yeah. Yeah. Leonard Skinner. Yeah.
Yeah. That's my woman there, and I'm a man who cares. So this might be all for you. Yeah, there you go. He said that someone hit the shooter over the head with a chair. The bleeding suspect ran through the wedding reception and into the kitchen.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a baller movie. I got to watch a lot of wrestling. That dude, he was watching The Undertaker just slam people in the head with chairs. And that's what he's doing. That is pretty fucking that now see, that takes it to a whole new level, man. It is in the restaurant next door.
Yeah, Cam.
She was at the wedding. She says she was at the wedding.
Yeah, Cam says sign another side to get people to say no more to a
bro.
Well, the fact that it's getting any kind of press is definitely that. Definitely that. Because like I said, if it wasn't for what's happened in the last week, this wouldn't even be a blip on the fucking radar. So everything's heightened. Everybody is paying attention to everything. They can know they can use this, potentially to their advantage because they're going to use any fucking tragedy they can.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason this is getting press.
Right.
So,
Well, I mean, you got to understand, that. I mean, dude, I lost the venue for my debate con. I lost the first venue because I'm like 9,000% sure because of the Kirk shooting.
really? So
Yeah.
that happened afterwards? I thought you had already had it booked.
Yeah, so I had everything locked down, had deposit in place, everything was great.
Oh shit.
And so the other day, I forget what day it was, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. I get an email from them, from the lady that I'm working with, and she's like, "Hey, we've had one of our VIP clients has a 3-week block blocked out, and they're moving it forward so that we can no longer accommodate you." And I know that it was corporately it has to be corporately motivated. They just said they probably just said, we just don't want this kind of heat. We don't want this. We don't want the liability. And
wow.
I personally think that's what happened, and I think that
Wow.
the way they did it was.
Well,
I can't complain because if if it is really somebody with a 3-week block that just changed their dates. I mean, obviously, if they're gonna give a 3-week booking precedence over a 1-day booking, and it's we're well within the cancellation period. And so, and I literally, they have my deposit back to me like that. Like there's no problem there. Like it was, I mean, it was corporate. I mean, I promise you that somebody in corporate said, yeah, we can't have this guy and his group of malcontents there. So instead, we're having it in a different facility. And this one's got like vintage motorcycles. It's the facility I wanted originally.
nice.
Vintage motorcycles. It's 2 levels. It's got, and it's basically just 3 big open areas divided up. So, we lose the studio aspect of it and some other things like that. So that's not as good.
Well, you can't makeshift some studio area.
Yeah, we'll have a studio upstairs, and we're gonna have, but we won't have like the super cool soundproof pro level. If we lost that, but that's okay. Honestly, it's fine, right? Like it'll be just like podcasting at home, just different. And
yeah, it'll be like an on location. It's
we're gonna, and the guy and like
ambiance.
So it's right next to Nashville Tactical Lounge, which is a really cool man space where with knives, all kinds of knives, especially automatic knives. So like
OTFs, baby. Yeah.
They've got side openers. They've got all of it. They've got all the brands, like some brands I hadn't even heard of. They've got Strider knives on the shelf, which nobody has those. They've got, I mean, dude, it's so legit.
Wow.
And they sell suppressors. They've got pistols on the wall for sale.
Nice.
And that's one side, and then they've got another, and then like off to the side, like so the store's kind of divided, and they've got leather couch, some chairs, brandy, so just
did
lounge, tactical lounge.
Did I ever tell you about the whole GunCon drama?
No,
in like June with the
no. I don't even think you mentioned it to me.
Yeah, I think maybe other than just I think you had asked about it, and I just said, "Hey, yeah, it's a cool event or whatever." So here's the deal. So they set it up. They got that venue. What is it? The Twist Drill Building in Cleveland.
Yeah,
and this had been planned for like a fucking year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the day comes, and I forgot capacity was supposed to be like 2,000 people or something in that building. Blah, blah, blah. It was all there, the contract that was signed and everything else, this, that, and the other. So the day comes, and, everybody's wondering, since it had moved from Iowa and whatever, hey, was it going to be very good? What was the turnout going to be like? So I go down, about doors opened at 10. I go down about 9:30 because, of course, I'm media. I get in, got in early and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go down and I'm kind of filming the crowd outside in the line, and it's plumb around the fucking block, dude. I'm like, holy shit! And it's 30 minutes before the doors even open. And I'm like, wow, this is going to be banging, So I go back up, and by the time that I start back up, the doors are opened, and holy shit, at the people I had tried to navigate, right? And I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm going to go back down to the loading dock and, hang out and smoke because it's not like I can really get any content. It's just entirely too crazy right now,
Sure.
And so go down to the dock, and holy shit, the line is longer than it was when I was down there the first time. Like, it's flowing around the block, like over 3/4 of the block. And I'm like, this is fucking nuts. This is awesome, but it's nuts.
Right.
So the guy that put it on, well, the Gun Collective, John Patton, he's the one who does it. Just about the time that I was looking at that and talking to some other people, and I'm like, this is fucking awesome. Here he comes, and he's freaking the fuck out. And somebody has called the fire marshal or fire department, and they're telling him he's already over capacity. And he's like, what the fuck? I don't know why they're telling me. I got the contract here that it says and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, so they had to start trying to regulate people coming in, which of course pissed people off and this, that, and the other. And turns out it was the venue people that fucking called the fire marshal and told them they were over capacity. So the venue people lied on the contract to get him into the event, knowing it was a gun event, to then call and try to sabotage the fucking event. Now, the fire marshal law was like really, really good about it and worked with them to how they needed to regulate, you know what I mean, and to try to get by. So, and he had the copy of the contract. He could show that and everything else. Okay. As if that isn't bad enough, right? So Johnny B, I don't know if anybody's familiar with that channel, and Legally Armed. Well, there was a lot of panelists and creators and stuff that were speaking and whatnot. But the three that I'm talking about here was Johnny B, of course, Johnny from Johnson City. And I don't know where Paul from Legally Armed America was from, but Paul from Legally Armed America. And then the Attorney General for Missouri, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, were three people scheduled to be on panels and talking. So about 5 minutes before all of the panel stuff was to start, right? John gets a call, again, the Gun Collective, the guy who's putting it on, gets a call from the building. And they say, hey, there's a clause in that, if you'll look, that in the contract that says we reserve the right, blah, 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 right? To potentially make changes. And we need to make a change. He's like, okay, we've already had the fire marshal here. Like, no, that's not it. You've got 3 speakers that we want kicked out of the event. We don't want them in our building. And they made him basically kick out those 3 people from go look at the Attorney General of Missouri's X page, and you have to scroll back to see it, of course, but it's on there. He promptly posted and got tons and tons of likes and reposts and whatnot. But they made him kick those 3 speakers out, or because they had already, not just we're going to kick these out, but we have already called law enforcement, and if you do not kick them out, we are going to file criminal trespass on them. So it wasn't like they were just blindly saying kick them out and there's not shit we can do.
So this was like an anti-gun organization?
Well, so best that we can kind of tell is this building, come to find out, they've had like transgender fashion shows and shit in this facility in the past, and some really leftist things, like shows, like events or whatever, have went on in this building. And so best we can figure is that this was set up to be sabotaged from the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Like they lied in the contract. They literally waited to the last minute before they did anything with the speaker. So it's not like they told them the day before, or a week before, or anything like that. Like last fucking minute, they did this with the speakers. Like within 5 minutes for the first one to speak or whatever.
How did he end up choosing that facility?
He couldn't hardly. I mean, that was one of the only options he could even find. Supposedly, they were okay with carrying in the facility, and it was, he was looking for places. He needed a range. That's one of the biggest things with GunCon, is having a range for the media day the day before. But then he needs a venue that'll hold X number of people, plus X number of people, including exhibitors, media, and everybody else, right? X number of peoples within a reasonable distance of the range, right?
Well,
so you've got all these criterias, and I mean, that one fit, right? Now I don't know this, but he's definitely got lawyer friends. I know he has.
Yeah, I was going to say, this sounds like a major lawsuit.
Yeah. I've got no doubt he hasn't talked about that aspect of it, but I've got no doubt there's some kind of lawsuit going on, probably to get his money back and shit, if I was guessing. But the event still went off. I mean, it still was a great event. I mean, most people don't know that behind the scenes and that part of it, what went on. But when you talked about the canceling, that's the first thing that popped into my mind, was like, holy shit, that's some shit like fucking gun.
Yeah, well, this wasn't on purpose. So when I first talked to them, I was like, I told them point blank, I'm like, look, we're debaters. We debate both sides. It's, it's equal representation and all of that. Like, there's no, obviously, this isn't, it's not for everybody, and it can be contentious, but it's just debate. It's just words and stuff. And they were like, yeah, that's cool. We like that. We enjoy, we think that's cool. And I'm like, yeah. And so I don't think it was people who actually run the place. I think it was probably corporately, right? Like, they were just like, yeah, we don't want to take the liability and risk. So,
Cam, I've got to address this before this goes any further real quick. So Cam is talking about the antithesis from Franklin Armory. That is a no fucking go right now. The ATF has backtracked on that. Let me give you the backstory on what has happened. So Franklin Armory come out with the antithesis, and what they claimed and submitted to the ATF, and you can go read the ATF paperwork on this. Is I don't know. I don't know if it was intentional on Franklin's part. I don't know if there's some nefarious, there probably is, with the ATF going on, if it's a combination thereof, if it's some inept actions. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just reporting what the deal is here. But Franklin Armory come out with the antithesis, and whenever you come out with a gun, you submit that to ATF's technology division to get your ruling. And what they said is, hey, this fires multiple cartridges, just like, so basically it's going to fire a 45 Colt 410. ATF said, oh, okay, cool. Well, that's great. That just classifies as a firearm. Then here you go. You're good to go. Everybody freaks out. It goes, hey, we won from the ATF. Look, Franklin Armory's making this what's essentially a short barrel rifle, but it's not, because it can fire multiple types of ammunition, right? Well, as soon as all of that blew up and started being talked about, Franklin Armory starts talking about their 5.56 version. Well, hold on a minute. And this was a question I had 2 days ago when I heard about this ruling, or this letter. I was like, well, hold on a minute. Franklin Armory submitted paperwork for a 45 410, not a fucking 5.56. And I have friends, many, that work in the firearm industry. I know how this shit works. If they change the fucking name on the side of a gun, they've got to reapply to the ATF technology division. So they damn sure got that the 45 410 does not cover a 5.56. Further, that you could find nothing from Franklin Armory on how the 5.56 shoots multiple cartridges. Like, how do you fire a shotgun shell through a fucking 5.56? Like, I don't understand. So I dug down this rabbit
22
hole, and I
rat shot.
finally, no, not in the fucking 5.56. And so, because it's rimfire. Anyway, so,
But
so
you,
then,
you could use a 22 conversion.
then it would not be designed to shoot both. You would have
That's
to
probably
convert
true.
it for to shoot
Yeah,
both. Right.
probably true.
So I've went down this rabbit hole. Like, I don't know how the
Yeah.
fuck. Well, Franklin Armory had commissioned Duplex, DDUPLEKS. They
Mhm.
make slugs and a lot of other things. They make some specialty shotgun ammo. Had commissioned them to make a specialized 5.56 essentially shot shell, right?
Mhm.
A rimmed, blah blah blah, weird looking thing. But they're not in production yet, right? And so the ATF goes, hold on, wait a fucking minute. The paperwork you submitted was on this, and then now you're turning around and trying to sell something over here that's not the same, and that ain't the way this shit works. So,
Yeah.
the very next morning after that broke, like, everybody woke up and there was no videos on the antithesis. Not from Franklin Armory anyway, I should say. There was
Yeah.
no page on their website. Like, they had scrubbed it
disappeared.
completely. And like, what
Yeah,
the fuck is
CIA.
going on? And then everybody was like, some people were like, well, they sold out. They sold every one they had in just a few hours, and that's why they did it. And I'm like, nah, something else is up. And then later on that evening, it drops that the ATF come down on them for it.
Mm.
So that's where we're at on the antithesis. Maybe they get it sorted out. I kind of hope so, because the
Yeah.
whole idea, and what they need to do is get with ammunition manufacturers and get if that's a thing, if the ATF is going to approve that kind of thing, the design to fire multiple cartridges, then maybe fucking ammunition manufacturers need to design some fucking cartridges that are actually available for sale and out in the public that will fire in those chambers, right?
Yeah.
And then every fucking gun company on the planet can claim that.
Sure.
like, that's the way you do it.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. I got to go. It's after 11. I got to get up. I got to get up in the morning and go shoot a match. I'm going to go play cool guy, gun guy stuff.
Sounds like fun.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah.
All
Good
right.
having you on, as always. Been a while. So, good to see you again.
Oh, yeah.
We need to do a show where we talk, where we just gun prattle all day.
Nobody will watch it, but I hear you.
Yeah. And I need to get with you about how to how to convert these to.
You definitely need to do that podcast. Yeah. Especially your monologues. I wouldn't necessarily do the whole thing.
Yeah.
But because you've got a lot of wasted time, and
yeah,
I don't know that they're conducive to a single podcast listener, because live audience is totally different.
Sure.
But your monologues are fucking gold for the podcast a lot of times,
Yeah.
So definitely need to clip those out and turn those into their own podcasts.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and send you guys to Anson. I got to find him first. He didn't send me a link or anything to his show, so see if I can find him, and we'll get you over there if possible, because I don't see him.
I realized everybody was saying they were good to go, Cam, and I'm not taking it for the ATF, but this was not done. Every fiber research I've done, that was not done properly by and Franklin Armory paid a lot of big talking heads a lot of big money to say shit that they should have questioned, like I did from the start, instead of just throwing
it does sound weird to me. It doesn't sound,
none of it makes sense. The whole 5.56 shot shell, like, what the fuck are you talking about? It never made sense from the start to me.
Yeah.
So
don't
believe everything you hear. That's what I guess I'm saying. Unfortunately,
it's an interesting deal for sure.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't make sense sometimes,
Well, I'm glad they got the ruling, and I'm glad that they tried it. And I think that it opens doors to potentially do things the right way moving forward. But I don't feel like they did things the right way.
You're probably right. Anybody got a link to Anson?
I don't.
I don't either.
I literally watch, I think, you and Mikey Ball, and that's it. Or listen. I don't necessarily even watch.
Well, I appreciate that. I do. Have you caught any of the debates lately, or do you even care anymore?
I don't hardly pay attention. Nah, no. And this is nothing against. So, man, how did I even go down this rabbit hole? I think I went down an Access Vegas rabbit hole. Oh, I listened to Glenn too. I'll click on Glenn's stuff every now and then. But I think I caught Access Vegas. I found it, and then from there I moved into whatever, and then from there I found
Yeah.
Andrew, right? And then from there I found you.
Yeah.
You and I have a lot more in common, I think, and you're smaller and are more open to bringing people on and doing things, whereas Andrew is kind of closed, and obviously whatever is kind of closed. Obviously, you know what I mean?
I was on whatever the other day.
So I don't even hardly watch Andrew as much as I used to. And it's just, I'm not a big, huge channel guy. Like, I prefer, and there's a lot of people probably out there that's still live, because you wouldn't fucking be live if you didn't like the conversation and whatever. That feel the same way, right? You like smaller fucking channels and stuff, and I'm just that way.
Right.
I like the smaller, but we have a lot in common, and we can talk about a variety of different fucking things too. So
yeah, I got a big week ahead of me. I'm going to do so tomorrow I shoot a match. Monday I don't really have anything on the schedule except for work stuff that are not. I mean, it's not even real work. I mean, it's what I call work, but it's not actual work. And then I'm going to do on Tuesday I'm playing golf. I haven't played golf in a while, so I'm like really excited to go play golf.
I don't play golf. So.
Do you not?
No, I don't. It's too slow and whatever. Put me on a basketball court, I'm good to go. Even baseball to me is too slow, and I don't have the body anymore to even play like tag football hardly. So like,
I can't even watch baseball. Like I honestly I just can't even watch it. Like I used
to really love all kinds of sports, but I'm not into none of that really anymore.
I just can't.
Shooting sports. I'm into the shooting sports. So there we go. That's my sport.
Yeah. That's and I can actually watch a lot of that too. So but all right. Well, everyone, you're gonna fly on over to Anson Knowles, and you guys will have a great rest of your evening. I gotta get some sleep. I gotta go play with guns tomorrow, and I want everyone to have a great rest of the weekend. We'll see you Monday for the day shift, and we'll see. We'll have more news about this bar restaurant wedding shooting in New Hampshire, which is weird, but we'll cover it. We'll cover anything else that happens. You guys have a great rest of your evening, and as always, be cool and wear glasses if you need them, and go stomp around on Anson's yard. See you guys. Have fun.